man who is having a lot of internet troubles, to say the least. Mr. Matthew Stogden, how are you?
Fucked off. I'm good, thanks. How are you guys? I know. So to give a brief and broad overview, I'm currently mobile hotspotting off my phone because my internet is glitchy as all hell. So I might freeze. I'm problematic, and I apologize for that. Hopefully, I'm coming through clear and etc. etc. Let me know if I'm not. But
I was
yeah,
having some
stressed.
weird technical stuff on my end things as well. I think we've missed the intro bit because the go live thing delayed because it was the internet delay. So yeah, it's all going horribly wrong.
Christmas,
yeah,
chaos.
Christmas spirit, everybody.
Matt's got a lump of coal instead of an internet router.
To say instead of a heart.
Certainly seems that way sometimes, doesn't it? Yeah,
it does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. It's only recent. It's got a bit bad, and it dates back to copper cables and Margaret Thatcher. It's a story for another day.
Doesn't everything link back to Margaret Thatcher in some way or another? Pretty much.
In the UK, in America, it's all Reagan's fault.
It's all Reagan's fault. Yeah,
there you go. Yeah. 80s conservatism. There you go.
Yeah, I'm coming through okay at the minute, and we were fine for now. So hopefully,
got my fingers crossed for you, mate. We've got some of the regulars in the chat. Hello to Stuart Main, early guest there for Nightmare Before Christmas. And if it's not on the list, I'm out. So that's interesting. Relating to our season finale that is now available for patrons, but will be out this Tuesday for the public. Do you have copper poisoning from too much computers, Matthew? Are you Willem Dafoe from Speed 2 Cruise Control?
All I want for Christmas is leeches.
And that luscious head of hair.
You help me and I help you, leeches. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Creepy film.
Hey, the honorary fourth Sequelizer, Mr. John Scarrett. Feliz Navidad indeed. Feliz Navidad. We don't want to get copyright claimed on that one.
Yeah, sorry. Feliz Navidad.
Thank you.
I don't think any of us are good enough singers that it's going to completely replicate the waveform of.
I am heartbroken, Tim. How dare you, sir?
Yeah, I'm not great.
You have the best chance, Jack, of all of us.
You have the best chance of ruining this stream.
Yes.
Yeah, I have the best chance of getting our YouTube channel taken down. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Early guests from Kieran here as well. Muppets Christmas Carol. If you're wondering what these early guesses are, by the way, and you're new to our live stream, we are actually doing a tournament bracket. Usually we do it for a whole director's kind of filmography, or if we have to, we narrow it down to the top 16. And then we kind of go through and talk about, what we like, what we don't like, and let the films battle out and decide the overall winner by the end of the tournament. So that's what we're going to do, but with Christmas films this month, because it's Christmas. It's time to do the Christmas stuff.
Shit, the kids!
And
I don't have the kids.
No, I think it's going to be pretty controversial.
The spirits did it all in one night.
Of course they can. They could do anything they want. They could kill everybody. Never trust the spirits. More predictions coming in, I see.
Yeah, more predictions. Die Hard or I Walk. Muppet Christmas Carol once again. Die Hard 2 from John Scarrett. Funny enough, I met John Scarrett in person, not for the first time, but for the first time in a long time. He was he met up with him. Well, he was at an art fair in Norwich, and I went along and bought some stuff. And bought a lovely little Predator themed pin badge from Mr. Scarrett. It's
the leaf one.
If it bleeds, we can kill it on a leaf thing. It's very, very cool. And yeah, we were chatting about that, and he was like, Die Hard 2 is actually really good. And I actually really enjoy Die Hard 2. I was like, there's nothing. I mean, it's not Die Hard 1, but it's not Die Hard 4 either, or 5.
That's true.
Yeah. I was saying
it does have William Sadler doing naked Tai Chi.
Is that a positive or a negative? Oh, Frozen. It begins.
Who knows? Why not both? And of course, like I said, we'll get into all of that in just a little while. We don't have a guest this month. Usually we have a guest from another podcast or another film director or a friend of ours or a content creator or whatever it is. But it's just the three of us this month. So we'll be back with the guest and back to our director bullshit next month in January. Don't you worry. And we're actually going to go on a little bit of a Christmas break. For those of you who don't know, Once we finish the season, we'll have a break until the beginning of January. And I believe our first episode goes up for patrons on the 7th, Friday the 7th of January, which is a young Mr. Tim Matum's birthday, and goes up for the public on the Tuesday, the 11th of January. So we'll have a little Christmas break for us. It gives us time to edit our epic beginning, our epic trilogy of episodes to kick off this interseason. And yeah, it's gonna be a big one, I think. And I know they're long. One of the longest episodes ever we recorded the other day, and that's only part of a 3-parter. It's the first time we're ever doing a 3-parter in our interseason. So yeah, you're gonna get 3.
One is 3 hours at the minute. So
yeah. It's gonna be interesting. So yeah, we have picked 16 Christmas films. Somewhat controversially, there was some vetoing and discussion, and I know when we sent it over to John to create the bracket and stuff, he was like, "Oh no, you need to have this." And we're like, "Well, fuck you, John. Sorry."
We already had an argument between the 3 of us. So you don't include another voice of contention.
It was a contentious debating process.
We'll bring you in on it. We'll explain why we made the decisions we made, and so on and so forth. And I don't know how this is going to go. I really don't. I think a lot of it. Either. I think a lot of this doesn't come down to quality. A lot of this doesn't come down to a lot of things other than I watched this a lot when I was a kid. I watch it at Christmas. Therefore, it's the best Christmas film. So, based on what merit? I watch it.
That's the thing we talk about all the time, right? It's difference between your favorite and the best. They're two different things, and the effects of nostalgia and all this kind of stuff play into Christmas films so much more than usually the rest of stuff. I think Spielberg is probably a good example of that from directors we've covered in the past, because so much of his stuff is rich with nostalgia, whether it's from him looking back on previous generations of filmmakers or the kind of stuff you grow up, you watch E.T. when you were a kid, you watch Jurassic Park when you were a kid, all that kind of stuff. But I think more than anything else.
Sorry, I was going to say, he also helped define a lot of 80s and 90s cinema. So for our age,
absolutely.
He's the director. When you say, you're like, name a director. Steven Spielberg. You're going to be associated with that. So Christmas films, so much attached to this.
There's a lot attached to this. Remy, our good friend from Switzerland, is asking an interesting question. Who's wearing the ugliest Christmas sweater? Tim and I are actually wearing... What are you wearing, Matt?
A sweater at Christmas.
The plainest of Christmas jumpers.
It's a wool knit jumper, and it's got
Tim's has got fucking dinosaurs on it.
How fucking European? A wooden toggle.
Ugh, gross.
It's a festive jumper for the festive season because I'm being festive and I'm in the jumper. So fuck you. I don't actually own
festive. Fuck you.
I don't own a Christmas jumper per se that has anything has even it's got the PlayStation logo or like a Tekken one. I'm like, I would. Matt, you should have Assassin's Creed.
I have the PlayStation one. Yeah.
I don't, because I also remember because we have the whole what a very ugly sweater inverted commas. I remember the 90s. People thought they looked good at the time, and they look back, and I also know how photographs work. I don't want evidence of me wearing stupid shit. So I'm like, I'm good. So I've never got them. Yeah.
Well, Tim, do you want to show yours off?
Yeah.
With your dinosaurs and stuff.
Mine's got dinosaurs on.
Oh, that's classy. I like that.
That's cool as fuck.
Yeah, see. Again, I feel like I'm about 5 years away from owning like.
They've got little hats. The Avatar's got a hat. Tim's got a hat, and his dinosaurs have got a hat. Like, does that get any more festive?
I've got nothing around me.
And I have actually got a Christmas heat. It's not a jumper technically. It's more of a sweater kind of thing. I'm rocking the Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. Ooh. There we go. Ta-da. Fuck off, Matthew.
Christmas Frenchman.
Oh no! I mean, that's a red hat. At least you got a red hat.
A red hat. A red beret.
Closer than I got. I do have some options for headgear, and I thought we'd do a little vote just now. So let me grab them. Have the option of.
That's a prop, by the way.
We have baubles.
Oh shit!
Love
son.
it. Very
Got
cute.
some lovely little baubles.
Yeah,
or
it's like a little halo.
Yeah, or to match the green, some holly as well.
Oh,
I think I prefer the bauble crown personally.
Yeah, that one makes you look a little bit too much like a Christmas pudding.
How rude, Tim! Is it because I'm round?
Because
you're too sweet.
The brown of your hair.
The brown
just
of my
worried-
hair.
And
I'm
the
worried
cream of your
Cream
face.
dripping down my forehead. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm
I-
worried
I-
Emma's
Jack,
going to run in
Gucci
and
stream.
set fire to you.
I mean, that's true. That is absolutely true.
Yeah,
I'm expecting
baubles.
a run in from Emma at some point to cause trouble. But I can always swap later on. I've got the
Yeah.
other one to hand, so we'll go baubles for now. And
Yeah. Maybe once we get to the
Remy
final
votes
8.
baubles as well. So and he's got fashion sense. So
He
he's
has.
European. There you go.
So wait. Should we show the list and explain what we've done? Just to get all the plaster
we
off.
I think
need
let's-
to get
let's-
stuck
let's
in.
get into
So,
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh God, I'm nervous.
People are going
I
to be
think
pissed.
people are not going to be happy about this. Ready?
Right.
Oh my God.
First of all, beautiful artwork from John there.
Oh,
Lovely. Very
yeah.
wintry. Very
John, you're a master.
But let's talk about what's
Love
not
his
on
choice
here.
of background image. Gets me every time. Oh God. Points if you can guess what the background image, by the way, folks.
Yeah. For sacrificing
Good
sure
luck.
footing.
Yeah.
Okay,
So we have narrowed it down to 16 in total, as we often do. The Sweet
we have
16.
a few rules.
Hmm.
We didn't have any repeats. So there's no, like, for example, there is one in inverted commas Christmas Carol. Now that there have been so many adaptations over
Right.
the years,
Yes.
but we only have one representation. There's a lot of Home Alone movies. We have one representation. So we don't have multiple from different franchises. Sorry, the same franchise. So it's going to be, we're going to piss off a lot of people, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to zoom in, Matt, and have a look?
get into
'Cause
it. Let's
we're
get
already
into
getting
it.
people. Remy's already booing.
Right.
Best Christmas movie is Krampus from Remy there. Prediction for the final from Jonathan Firth Clark. Die Hard versus Gremlins. Interesting. Right.
Okay, I've lost the screen, so give me a second to just call everything back up again, because of course I have, because this is how this stream is going to work, apparently. Right, there we go, it's better.
Welcome to technical difficulties.
So
ladies
yeah,
and gentlemen.
It's a Wonderful Life versus Jingle All the Way, 1946 versus 1996. Now we
Yeah.
have a thing where we said, what's going to go on here? And we went by, we did, as we do with the director's thing, saying these are the top 16. You obviously have to kick off TV specials, and that's a short film, it doesn't count, and all there's multiples, etc. We also then said, actually, a lot of these are very low rated, but people will be angry if they're not on the list. And we got it down to about 25. And then it got difficult. So we're like,
Yeah.
we'll get through what isn't there once we go what is there. So there's the first two to start with. Here's a controversial thing to just throw everything off. I made a very strong, and by strong I mean passionate, case to get It's a Wonderful Life off this list.
The list, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll come
we
back
did.
to that shit. But,
We did. It was interesting, to say the least.
Then we got Love Actually versus Gremlins. 2003,
Ooh,
1984.
We've got our first ever spam comment. How exciting.
What? Oh,
Amazing.
what do we do? Oh,
Don't
online
click-
strips without clothing.
Don't click on the link, ladies and gentlemen.
There's
But
lots of them.
we're getting our first ever spam comments. Holy shit. Can I
Oh,
ban them or something?
Oh,
Is that
that's
that
how you know
something
we
I can
get
do?
You know
feel
you
like
made
we
it when you
finally
opened
made
spam.
it. Yeah.
Put user in timeout. There you go. Wow. If we're in double digits of viewers and we've got spam things in the comments,
It's all
what's
kicking
not
off.
to like?
So yes, Love Actually Gremlins. Moving on. Not going to comment. Nightmare Before Christmas rare exports. Again, we're not going to talk about them yet. We'll go into the whole thing momentarily.
Mhm.
Now we have Tokyo Godfathers against Elf. At this point, people are going to go, I don't know some of these.
Yeah.
Which is good. Hopefully, we're introducing stuff you can watch over Christmas. Right, back up
Exactly.
to the top.
Yeah,
on
this is
Gremlins.
perfect queuing up for if you haven't seen any of these and we recommend them.
Mhm.
Perfect time to get them up on the old streaming services over Christmas, or bust out an old DVD or a VHS or whatever you have available to you.
Definitely. We have here Die Hard versus How the Grinch Stole Christmas, which is the live action Jim Carrey, Ron Howard.
God,
one.
God,
Safe
that
Pair
baby Grinch is fucking
I
horrifying.
hate the baby Grinch so
Yeah.
Ugh. It's Son of the Mask-esque. It
much. Very much is.
upsets
Yeah,
me
it's
greatly.
horrifying. It's the one that goes to school is a bit more tolerable. But yeah, so there you
It's
go.
the
Those two.
little-
Yeah, the more
But it
of
also-
the Grinch.
I weirdly feel like if you peeled off all the makeup, there would be a baby Jim Carrey under there.
Are you talking about skinning a child?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about removing the makeup.
I think we a robot under there.
Yeah, is that an animatronic baby Grinch then, right? I guess like
It could
I
be
mean, real life,
right,
yes,
be
but
a
I feel
Jim
like
Carrey.
I feel like it could be a Jim Carrey under there.
A time
I
traveling
think-
robotic one.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's Jim Carrey under there for sure. Interestingly enough, you brought up things people might not have seen. We've got quite a few people planning to watch Tokyo Godfathers.
Good.
So
Good.
we'll find out if we recommend that later on.
Yeah, it's on
spoiler
UK
alert.
Netflix. At the
We
moment.
do. It's on Netflix in the UK. So go forth and multiply, dear listeners and viewers.
And when you're
And
done
while you're having-
multiplying,
and while you're having children, watch Tokyo Godfathers.
Exactly. Yeah. What's wrong
it's
with
appropriate. 'Cause it's about a newborn baby.
that? Yeah.
Okay, we'll come back to that though. Home Alone versus Arthur Christmas.
Mm.
An extremely well-known film and a less well-known film, but both
Yeah.
are worthy to be on this list.
One from the last 10 years or so, and one from 30 years ago, and a franchise we've tackled on the show before,
Very true.
having fixed Home Alone 3 in the past.
Mhm.
And Klaus versus the Santa Claus. Klaus is our newest one.
It's pronounced the Santa Claus as well.
Santa Clausy.
The Klauser in German.
The Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Klaus, the animated film, versus the Santa Claus with Tim Allen. I'm going to give you some presents. A drill.
etc.
Yeah, all that shit. And finally, Muppets Christmas Carol versus Bad Santa. So we have a broad spread of representation. We've got different countries. We've got full screen comedies, more dramatic stuff, more horror stuff, things people will be very familiar with, things they aren't familiar with, action, romance, all sort of things to give a big spread of what you can get at Christmas in terms of films. Now, in the comments, feel free to kick off and say all the things we didn't include while we just
How
wait,
come you didn't include this? And what about that? Blah, 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 blah.
and there'll be an answer will be that it was close, or alternatively, no.
Tough shit.
I know
Quick
there were a
question from
few-
the comments, by the way. Is Klaus the post office guy one? Yes, it is.
Yes.
The animated one from a few years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Featuring he's a postmaster general, whatever the phrase is.
His dad
is that a title? Yeah.
Yeah, there were a few in there that were people insisting on them making the list. We each had a couple of like buy-ins essentially.
Yes. Yeah.
And then the rest, we started off with there's a Rotten Tomatoes list of like the 65 best Christmas movies.
God, yeah.
And we started with that and then heavily edited it.
Yeah.
Very much so.
So to kick off controversially here, Matt, we want to know, why did you try to take Wonderful Life? This is A Wonderful Life off the list.
Okay, let's do this.
Well, should we get into it as that's the first one?
Let's
Yeah.
make it work. Let's make it work.
go.
Let's get started.
We'll come back and go through your things. I can see. Oh, there's one there. There's one from Tim. I want to address Tim A. I want to address that as well. Not that one.
No,
The answer is I was only allowed one anime film.
that's not true. But no,
Also, I had to.
depressing.
We had to. Yeah, we had to sacrifice a lot of stuff we actually would have genuinely liked on this list. If I'm honest,
Yeah.
it's just like 16 makes it easier for us to work with. Miracle on 34th Street again. We were torn. But yeah, let's do it. It's a Wonderful Life, 1946, directed by Frank Capra. Jingle All the Way, 1996. Who gives a fuck who directed it?
Do you want to
One
give us
has a
the
terrible
stats,
sequel.
Jack?
I can certainly run you down the stats. Like you said, 1946, It's a Wonderful Life, 2 hours and 9 minutes, with a 94% on the tomatometer and a 95% on the audience score. Unsurprisingly, all-time classic, blah, 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 blah. On the polar opposite end of things, 1996, an hour and 28 minutes for Jingle All the Way, with 19% on the tomatometer and a 38% on the audience score. So, quite different films to start off with.
Yeah.
to say the least. The Jingle All the Way is an interesting one. Directed by Brian Levant, who isn't particularly interesting or well known for anything of any note.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I feel like we start
done,
off
like-
with two really interesting ones here, because Matt really didn't want It's a Wonderful Life on the list, and Jack, you really wanted Jingle All the Way on the list.
yeah, I did.
True.
I think I not to spoil any future things, but I felt like I fondly remember Jingle All the way more because I haven't watched it in 20 years. If I actually went back and watched it, it'd probably be fucking terrible.
It's got some moments, but then so
Great.
It's a Wonderful Life. These are it's very interesting. These two are matched because they're both on the list because people will expect them to be on the list, not necessarily because we think they should be there, except for Jack. So It's a Wonderful Life is absolutely fascinating to me. Absolutely fascinating. Because it's fine. So this was released in 1946 by Frank Capra. Capra is like Hollywood legacy icon sort of thing. He did things like Mr. Deeds Goes to Town and Mr. Smith Goes to Washington and Arsenic and Old Lace and It Happened One Night, which won Best Picture. Actually, that's one of the one Big Five, I think. It was one Best Picture, Best Actor, Actress, Writing, Director, that kind of thing. So he's old 30s, 40s Hollywood royalty. And he, later in his career, made this. And this film was not well received. America didn't like... That Rotten Tomatoes thing is recent. Because at the time, it was too twee, it was too trite, too obvious. And the... I can't remember who it was specifically, but a committee said, this film is communist because it portrays the bankers as the bad guys. And the only reason America thinks like it's the Christmas movie is because it became cheap to put it on at Christmas. And it was a cheap rights thing. So it's just kind of a Christmas Carol kind of story, almost that, what would life be like without me kind of thing. It's kind of miserable. It's well done. I think it's nicely directed, but it's very, very, very twee.
I'm just scrolling through the reviews here for It's a Wonderful Life. And so the cutoff point for Rotten Tomatoes is January 1st, 2000, because that's when their system starts. So anything before that is categorized as January 1st, 2000. But you do have like archived old ones, for example. So we do have, going back as far back as 1999, because, we need that. Our old pal Roger Ebert gave it 4 stars.
In retrospect, yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of like really modern ones. It's just like, it's a Christmas classic, 4 out of 5. You're like, okay, great. That doesn't help.
I doubt people are gonna be archiving newspaper reviews from 1946 for films.
Exactly.
And not gonna survive to the modern day.
Yeah,
I tried to look at the Empire one and the page broke, so it's like thanks, Rotten Tomatoes. Always the quality score.
Sorry, my delay keeps coming up. I'm so sorry. I appreciate what it's done for cinema because people have a nostalgia for it, and more importantly, Americans do. And I asked a question around my workplace. I've asked some family. Everyone knows It's a Wonderful Life. Very few people have watched It's a Wonderful Life. And I find that fascinating. Because people are like, oh, yeah, it's about this guy and Angel with ring a bell and something. Yeah. Hello, movie house. All that bullshit. But people don't actually watch it. It just happens to be on, it seems. And it is fascinating. Because it's like, it was not revered at the time. But through exposure, kind of a little bit like The Wizard of Oz, because it was just happened to be on, people like re-releasing and saying, oh, I remember this when I was a kid. Oh, I sit down, I watched this movie when I was a child, or you can watch it with me in this old black and white film. It's endured because it happens to still be around. And so people say it is the best Christmas movie. And I'm like, it's kind of not. It's not bad. It's Jimmy Stewart. He's done a good job.
It's an institution at this point, is what it boils down to, right? Like, it's unavoidable. And I think there's a great comment from Remy here. Again, Remy being from Switzerland, not from an English-speaking country. If you're not from an English-speaking country, It's a Wonderful Life is just another old movie. There's no nostalgia there. I think especially America, but also here in the UK, it is so kind of drilled into us, this classic kind of old school Hollywood. Well, you've got to watch It's a Wonderful Life. It's a classic Christmas film. It's from the 40s. It's endured for so long for a reason. You're like, has it though? And like you said, Matt, there's a bunch of like political and bureaucratical bullshit that happened 60, 70 years ago that is now, still being felt now in the 21st century that made it stick around when perhaps it shouldn't have. And we're not still paying the price is the wrong word, but we're still feeling the ripples of that now, as if anybody gives a shit about it. And you get like, people's family members, grandparents, parents, all that kind of stuff being like, well, we have to watch It's a Wonderful Life. We watch it every Christmas. It just is just drilled in as this traditional thing, and it's unavoidable for many people. I do wonder how many people like actually viewing it for the first time in the 21st century actually enjoy It's a Wonderful Life, from start to finish kind of thing. Because it's long as well. Like I said, it's over 2 hours long. And for a film made in the 40s, the pacing is glacial compared to, take a recent thing like Spider-Man No Way Home, for example, which is like 235 or 240 or something like that. Breakneck speed, it's superheroes, all that kind of shit all the way through. And comparing that to a 2-hour film from 1946 is like, whew, they are worlds apart.
Definitely. So, in stark contrast to that, Jingle All the Way is a 90s film entirely, through and through. It's interesting how everyone seems to forget why Jingle All the Way was made, and it was made because in reaction to the Buzz Lightyear stuff. And the fact that Toy Story came out and Disney, much like the whole Baby Yoda stuff, was not prepared. And Pixar was like, "Oh, they've got this new film out," and it's like, everyone wants Buzz Lightyear toys, and it's like, "Well, we got some." It's like, no, everyone wants one, and you couldn't get one for love nor money, kind of thing. And Christmas was coming, and it's like, you fuck this. And Turbo Man is the equivalent, basically, where it is, it's not a
Turbo Man.
It's a superhero rather than a space ranger. I think it's the official thing, but it's and it launched. Well, I say launched. It was an early Jake Lloyd movie as well. I think it's got a lot of enduring qualities, but it is, and I cannot stress this enough, not good.
Yeah.
It's a 2 out of 5. It's a Wonderful Life is a solid 4 out of 5 because it's a well-made movie. I just don't like it. I can appreciate it on a critical level. I just don't enjoy it at all. And I think people love it for wrong reasons. Jingle All the Way is not a good film, but again, through that, but I watched it every year since I was like 14 or 10 or 3 or whatever. It's like, I get that, but it doesn't make it good. There are parts that aged really badly. So it's a romp. It's silly. What are the stats, Jack?
I've already told you the stats, Matt.
He's already told us.
Well,
I ran through both.
I might have frozen at that time.
19% on Rotten Tomatoes is a big old bag of shit.
Yes, that's right. That's what I was going to say, because I know it has a sequel that is worse that we'll probably fix at some point.
That'll be one of our future episodes for sure. And it's one of those things where it's such a 90s kind of, again, it's kind of a staple. It's kind of that thing where, like, you think of the 90s, you think of Christmas films, you think of Jingle All the Way and stuff like that. And good comment here from Boy Flea, like, wasn't Sinbad in that one? It's like, that, for once, is not the Mandela effect and not thinking he was a genie at some point. Sinbad is legitimately in this movie and terrible. And Schwarzenegger, bless him, is not much better.
It's a weird one because it was, remember correctly, it's produced by Chris Columbus, and that is an important one because Chris Columbus is kind of one of the staples of 90s Christmas movies because he directed the first 2 Home Alone movies. And although they're not Christmas films, people watch the first 2 Harry Potter films at Christmas because there's a Christmas scene, but because it's so magical and you're
in the hall and it's all the food and the owls and the snow and stuff, right? Like,
exactly, the association.
I mean, they happen over an entire year. That's the whole point of those films.
So
they're also Easter and Halloween films as well, but nobody would describe Harry Potter as a Halloween movie.
Exactly. So just to crack on, because I realize my hatred of It's One Life is sidelined us a little bit. Or hatred on this list, shall we say. Jack, I think it's your vote first.
It is. I'm going Jingle All the Way. Fuck you.
I was going to say, out of curiosity, this has been an interesting one. Are we going to grade this as not necessarily the best or worst movie, but the best Christmas movie? As it has the most
my
Christmas...
favorite.
Oh, okay. That's how Jack does it.
That's how
Jack is the rule.
When have we ever done? Like...
I've always been going with over my feelings of what I think nostalgia. Maybe it doesn't matter.
Nah.
So, Jingle All the Way. Cool. Tim, what do you think?
I'm already getting told to fuck off in the comments.
Yeah.
So
As a matter of time.
Interestingly, I have no real nostalgia for either of these. As I said, I come from a family that didn't really care about films. I would have been 10 when Jingle All the Way came out, so I was the perfect age for it. Have seen it, didn't care for it. It's a Wonderful Life, didn't see it until I was in my 20s, thought it was great. As someone has already pointed out, I think Ernie in the comments, we have the film that says capitalism is bad and bankers are evil versus one of the most consumerist films of all time. So I am going It's a Wonderful Life because it's a good film and Jingle All the Way is a bad film.
And for the record, Matt, this one should be 100% feelings. Thank you, Remy. We're talking about nostalgia at the beginning of the live stream. Talking about how this one of all live streams is not the like what's the best Christmas film, but like this is inherently tied into your nostalgia.
That's fair.
Ignoring the fact that everything is subjective and nothing humans do basically is objective when it comes to critiquing films and discussing films and art and media and all that kind of stuff. Even outside of that, fucking Christmas movies are like the most subjective, emotionally driven genre of film I can think of.
It's
pretty
the
much.
season to follow your heart.
Well, in that case, get in the fucking bin, you high-voiced bastard. I'm bringing Jingle the Way through.
Oh my god.
Not even off the fucking starting block,
If
Jimmy.
you pick Jingle, Matt, you will never live it down.
Guess what? Come at me.
I will, and I don't care.
I own both of them, and I'll watch one of them.
And let's be honest, neither of them are going to fucking win, so it doesn't matter. Let's put it that way.
Whatever it's up against is going to get squashed.
Oh my god.
Right. Love Actually, Gremlins.
Love Actually from, good lord, I've made me feel old. 2003. Oh no. I thought it would be like 2010.
No, because it's got a horrible 9/11 reference in there.
Oh, it does. Oh, we might get a Christmas cat in a minute as well. She's just appeared. Love Actually 2003, like I said, 2 hours and 15-minute runtime, 64 on the tomatometer, 72 on the audience score, and of course, famously tied into Smoking Aces 2, Tim's fix for that. So that's the most important reference there. And I'll skip straight to Gremlins as well, of course, from 1984, the year of our Lord, Matthew Stogden. 85% on the tomatometer with a 78% on the audience score. So considerably higher by like 20 points on both accounts, except, sorry, not on both accounts, on the critic score, actually similar on the audience score, which is interesting. But yeah, about a 20% difference for Gremlins compared to Love Actually, and about a 20-year difference as well. So
I want to hone in on one fact from that little ream of statistics that Jack has just given us. Love Actually is 2 hours and 15 minutes long. It is the longest film on this list.
Yep.
And it's not good.
Oh!
It's a bad film.
We are kicking up with all kinds of opinions
Wow.
today. Fuck me.
Tim woke up and he chose violence on Christmas, sort of Eve, but not really.
On Christmas Day in the morning.
I am choosing less violence than the pair of you who picked Jingle All the Way over It's a Wonderful Life.
Touche, sir. Touche.
No. That film's about suicide. It's dark.
Oh, God.
Right.
But Tim, it brought us Hugh Grant dancing and stuff. And everybody's favourite actress, Martine McCutcheon, right, guys?
It's an awful,
Anyway.
It's a bad film about
Tim, why?
bad
Tim,
men
why?
being rewarded with women for Christmas, pretty much.
Is this Tim's heel turn on the audience? Is this finally the moment?
It was the 2000s, which was actually a surprisingly dark period for fiction, where it was a sort of weird, really weird swing back. It was like, let's make some really questionable material that we'll end up having to to either re-edit or re-release in the later years to come. I'm going to say I didn't mind Love Actually when it came out. I think it's a solid 3 out of 5. I think I'm going to appreciate it more over the years as a mass vignette crossover thing in terms of its structure. I rather enjoy elements of it. I think there are stronger and weaker stories within it. And some things that they've really you should have had another writer here to help you work this through rather than just say, and he is okay. So I don't think he did it. I think he kind of fucked up here. No, he sort of said sorry. No, he didn't.
Everything
well,
was
whatever.
fine.
Yeah. Gremlins is very fun. I kind of prefer Gremlins 2.
Interesting.
Because I find it more
so weird.
I like the weirdness of it.
Yeah.
The horny weirdness of Gremlins too. But Gremlins 1 is a fun, weird film. It's so unique. It's so oddball in what it is. And it just happens to be fully at Christmas. And just it's so bizarre. And then sort of half remade as Small Soldiers and things. But it's
Small Soldiers, the best Gremlins film. Just saying that.
It's one of those movies where you turn like 13 or 14 or something and say, okay, it's Christmas, we've got a Christmas film. I want to pick the Christmas film. It's going to be Gremlins, Mom. What are you going to do about it? No, it's too violent. No, it's good. Nah, that kind of thing. It's that immature level of comedy and humor and sort of horror, that thing that 80s did a lot with. Like, here's the cutesy, weird thing, whether it's a mutant or an alien or a creature or a monster.
Yeah, the 80s did that a lot, bringing that kind of horror element into a lot of kids' films, right? You forget how scary a lot of the kind of stuff we grew up on.
Was Gremlins still
going back
15?
and looking at it? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
No,
so
I don't think it was.
No, I don't think it is. But
well, I don't know if it is now, because it was 15 at the time because there was no 12. It wasn't a PG, I don't think. And I think they downgraded it later. But the reason I'm pointing it out is because it's one of those examples of a movie that's pitching to a younger crowd, but not appropriate for them. So it's like all the characterization of individuals feels like it's in a kid's film, like Jurassic World kind of thing. You're like, this feels like a 12 before 12 was existed. So these two are weird. Whereas Love Actually, people have fondness for it. But again, it's a sort of post-Bridget Jones, horny Curtis era kind of. This movie's a 15. A 15, really? Yeah, it's real fucky. And it's like, yeah, it is, isn't it? It's like, oh, let's watch it with Nan. Oh, okay, maybe not. Let's just.
No, it's on Martin Freeman's penis. Maybe, I don't know.
Don't worry about that.
It's probably Richard Curtis's worst film.
I don't know. I don't like that Love Boat one. Or the boat that rocked.
That is bad.
That's trash.
Yeah. There's some people who do like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the good things in Love Actually to me are Emma Thompson, because she's always great.
Thing.
And it's a sad thing at Christmas, which I think Christmas films should always have a little bit of melancholy in them.
Yep.
That's why he picked It's a Wonderful Life. God damn.
Bill Nighy's performance is great. And
yes.
Apart from the singing, but yes.
Yeah, kind of was the film that blew him up.
Yeah. Because he went from this to Pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Shaun of the Dead.
That's it. Those are the two good things about Love Actually.
Oh, you don't like Liam Neeson in particular?
Alan Rickman.
Well, Alan Rickman's character's a dick, but he acts well.
Oh, yeah. I think it's a really good performance. That's the only story I remember. Like, thinking back on it, that's the one that always rings out to me, is the like, oh, the necklace, and they're like, oh no, oh god, that's like that cringe factor of it all, and yeah.
And Rowan Atkinson rapping things.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
It tries. The problem I have with it is it's a bit of tonal whiplash, where you have things like the Laura Linney thing about her brother. And she's just trying to hook up with Rodrigo Santoro, but her brother's got like a mental illness, and it's like so she doesn't get a happy ending, and it's like, I kind of like it, but I kind of hate that as well. I feel like, but I do like
to have that mashed up with fucking, I can't even remember the actor's name, Chris Marshall, where he just goes to America and fucks a load of American girls.
Because of his awful accent, apparently, and like amazing. Yeah, and it works really well. This is the thing. I on one of the high points, I really enjoy the Colin Firth, Lucia Moniz story with him being a writer who's going away and the Portuguese housemaid, or housekeeper, I should say. I like that one, but I feel like these are all like Richard Curtis coming up with ideas for movies, but not being able to develop them fully, so just sting them all in one film. But I will say, I fucking hate the Andrew Lincoln, Keira Knightley one.
That's the worst.
There's everyone
him
knows
being an absolute creep.
Creep fucker.
To me, you're perfect. Fuck right off. Andrew Lincoln.
Filmed their wedding and just took close-ups of her face like this. That's what a stalker does. That's so weird.
He is a stalker. Tim described it best at the beginning. It's bad men being rewarded with women.
Well, he doesn't. He doesn't get her. He walks away and has a little talk to himself. Says, "Enough now, enough."
He walks
and then he goes and murders someone in a taxi.
Yeah. Starts piecing together women out of body parts to resemble Keira Knightley.
So goes and finds Natalie Portman and does something horrible.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Tim, you're up first, I believe.
Gremlins all the way. It's got that fantastic, bleak Phoebe Cates speech about why she hates Christmas.
Yeah, that's good acting as well. Phoebe Cates should be in for more films. I'm going to go Love Actually.
Ooh, bold,
so
man, bold.
That's all I'm going to say.
Funnily enough, I have the opposite reaction to you, Matt, in that I used to like Love Actually and I now like it less since having watched it more recently.
Yeah.
So I am going for Gremlins, please.
Gremlins of this. This is going to... already, the fact It's a Wonderful Life and Love Actually have not made it off the starting block is going to upset some people. Now let's upset Matthew.
Just to answer a quick question.
Yes.
Toothless has not been in the stream yet. She will appear later on. Probably she is currently behind me on the floor. But yes, please feed your cat, Stuart. Go and feed your cats right now.
Do what you need to do. Right, next to
feed them a little fishy mince pie or something. I don't know what cats can have as Christmas treats.
You can get little cat advent calendars and stuff. Our friends have a dog advent calendar that's hilarious and adorable. So yeah.
Every day is a new dog.
Exactly.
Like, oh my god, I got so many dogs in my house.
Dogs not just for Christmas, it's for the 24 days leading up to Christmas as well.
Yes.
Oh god.
So here's the thing. The Nightmare Before Christmas, which is not a Tim Burton movie. Stop it. Everybody says it.
Film.
Thank you.
Directed by Henry Selick.
Yeah, but it is a great film.
Yeah,
it's only 2/3 a Christmas film and 1/3 a Halloween film, but that's all good.
Yeah,
it's the best one to watch on November the 1st to get you in the mood for Christmas. But it is also iconic and beautiful, and I love it. And the songs are fantastic, and just it's marvelous.
I've had an entire life of people calling me Jack Skellington, so that's been fun. And then I got fat, and people stopped calling me Jack Skellington, so it worked out.
I don't think I've ever told us that before.
I have a million. Every fucking protagonist is called Jack, so it drives me nuts.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Default white protagonist, Jack. It's like brilliant. Even a fucking animated one, it's like, yeah, he's called Jack as well. Brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, Rare Exports is a movie from Finland.
Yeah. One of the international entries on this list. For
sure. Jalmari Helander, I believe his name is, the director. I remember this came out in like 2010. I'll get check his stats in a second.
Yep.
I remember seeing this in the cinema. I remember seeing a trailer thinking, this is fantastic. I love this movie. It is my favorite Christmas movie.
This was your it has to stay on the list pick.
This was
it?
I had like 2 or 3 where I was like, in fact, I think I said to Matt's like you have, someone said like you have to keep It's a Wonderful Life. I'm like, fine.
I fucking
the Rare Exports and
I will.
Godfather.
Yeah.
No, Rare Exports is really good. I champion it wholly. It is very much pitch. It does a bit of the Gremlins. It sort of talks to kids because it's got a very young central protagonist, but it is still a sort of teens and up kind of film, I think, because it gets dark as fuck. But it's classic European darkness. It's like, oh, here's a nice fantasy element. It's like, yeah, this is a movie that America just would never make. They could make like Black Christmas, like a slasher film, which is not on here, by the way. And you could do that kind of thing, but they wouldn't do like this sort of fantastical reassessment of old traditions and why we do things a certain way. which is what Rare Exports is, which is also what Nightmare Before Christmas sort of is.
Yeah,
we've got both of our kind of goth Christmas films together. Here.
Yeah. Why? God damn the seeding.
Pretty much. So yeah, let's go to 1993. As I said, not a Tim Burton movie. The Nightmare Before Christmas. An hour and 15 for this lovely little animated feature. 95 on the tomatometer. Pretty fucking high. An audience score of 91 right alongside it. For Rare Exports, 2010, as Matt said, an hour and 24. So actually only 9 minutes longer, which blew my mind that, you know, how short Rare Export is, but it feels like a meaty film, for want of a better phrase. Not in a derogatory way, like, oh, it drags on, it feels like 3 hours. Not that kind of way. Anyway, critic score of 90% for Rare Exports, and an audience score slightly lower at 70%. So, both in the 90s for the critic score, but a quite significantly lower one for the audience score. And I think a lot of audiences don't like international movies and like traditional Christmassy movies and go in and think, oh, because the subtitle we haven't mentioned there is A Christmas Tale. So everybody's like, yay, Christmas movie. No, not so much.
I feel like most people going to see Rare Exports know what they're in for.
I don't know. They just stumble upon it on a streaming service or whatever.
I remember a lot of people. It was screened at Cinema City in Norwich, and this happens with a few things, like The Favourite and other bits and pieces, where an older clientele will see a poster, go, "Oh, that looks nice," and they'll go along, and then within the first 15 minutes, like, this is not what was advertised to me. And I want
a Christmas movie. Like,
yes, it is. I just saw a little boy pissing into a little hole, and now there's a naked old man. It's not very Christmassy. It's like, it's a story, motherfucker. Either watch it or don't. So yes, Nightmare Before Christmas is a story of the personification of the different holidays. I know you're all nervous, but you know. And
we don't explain the film. Everybody's seen The Nightmare Before Christmas.
It's because I'm about to explain Rare Exports to people.
I know. I was going to say, you need to explain that one, not Nightmare Before Christmas.
Fine. Nightmare Before Christmas, you know what happens. It's good. Everyone enjoys it.
What's this, etc., etc., etc. You know the thing.
Rare Exports is about reindeer farmers, specifically one who's got a kid, and he's been told he's a bit too old for Father Christmas. And on a mountain near where they live, on this border between, I want to say, Finland and another country, they had this whole like, oh, there's a mountain there, and they're excavating something, and the kids start to go missing and being replaced by like little wooden dolls and straws and bale. It's very tormenting, and they capture in a very illegal wolf trap, which is a hole in the ground with a pit. Stop them hunting the reindeer. They catch this old man, and they believe they've caught the original Father Christmas, and they tried to sell him to this American firm who've been excavating what they believe to be the old classic true Father Christmas from myth and legend. And yeah, it's not what you think. It goes so crazy, a little bit Troll Hunter by the end. But it's huge and ridiculous and hilarious and fun and silly, kind of like Gremlins in a way. But it is dark and there's blood. And then again, it's that classic. If you've ever read The Hogfather by Terry Pratchett, that old mindset of traditions are sterilized as you get older in terms of the longer they go on. But when you go back to it, it always comes down to blood sacrifices. There's a reason we go, oh, I love the Yuletide spirit and seeing the equinox. No, we used to sacrifice people to the sun coming up. And it's like, what? Yeah, and it's like, so Father Christmas is not about giving you stuff. It's about beating the shit out of you and taking away your way if you're an asshole. And of course, by contemporary standards, all kids are assholes. So it's a really dark tale, but it's a boy bonding with his father. It's which is kind of classic stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and to put it into perspective, this is a PG-rated movie compared to an R-rated or 15 here in the UK movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, quite the difference. Despite the fact, as you said earlier, Tim, like, these are our two goth Christmas movies, basically. Like, very, very different in tone and approach. But I really, really like both of these for the record.
Yeah,
this
I
is
think
one
same.
of the hardest.
I love them both. This is
picks
really
for me.
difficult for me.
This is easily the hardest pick so far, and I think one of the hardest ones in the whole bracket for me because
I agree.
I really, really love Nightmare Before Christmas. I grew up like enjoying it, and it never hugely clicked with me. But since I've been with Emma over the last like 6 or 7 years or so, it's one of her Christmas traditions, and it's now one of our Christmas traditions since we started living together. So this is our Christmas Eve, well, one of our Christmas Eve films, and it has really just kind of been not actually drilled into me in a negative way, but like I've grown to like it more and more over the years that I've watched it, and come to appreciate it more and more for just how brilliant the animation is, how great the songs are. Danny Elfman's amazing. Like, unsurprisingly, Danny Elfman in the 90s was fantastic. Yeah, and then Rare Exports was a thing that Matt introduced me to, funnily enough, about 4 years ago.
That's true.
So something I watched very, relatively recently, and was, knowing the recommendation from Matt, it was like, it's a dark Christmas film from Finland. I'm like, I'm in. Let's see what happens. And yeah, I was very, very pleasantly surprised by it. I had kind of no expectations going apart from what Matt had told me, and I'd heard the name and had absolutely no idea it was a Christmas film, absolutely no idea it was Finnish. I had no idea like anything about it. I just heard the phrase Rare Exports in conversation a few times, and yeah, absolutely blew me away. And I think Troll Hunter is a good comparison there, Matt, because I'd seen Troll Hunter shortly after it came out and kind of really got into some other sort of like Scandinavian cinema and stuff at the time, and that was kind of my foot in the door to a lot of Scandinavian cinema that wasn't the kind of crime drama stuff that was on TV at the time that my mum was always watching. So yeah, I really, really like both of these, and I think this is a tough as hell decision.
Should we get to it?
Let's get to it. Matt, you're up first.
I know what you're going to pick, Matt.
I've got to do it. I had this conversation earlier with my wife. Similarly, Nightmare Before Christmas has been in my life longer, so I want to pick it. However, Nightmare Before Christmas has fewer Christmas messages than Rare Exports, and also is also a Halloween film. Right? Yeah. So I'm like, as much as I love it, Rare Exports.
So we've got a few comments in the chat here. This is one that's definitely kicking off in the chat, which is lovely to see. Thank you, viewers, for joining us. From Seth here, embrace the chaos. Eliminate Nightmare Before Christmas. I think we fucking embraced the chaos already.
We're already in the fucking.
And then, of course,
dip deep in chaos.
Yeah, our friend who usually embraces the chaos in many other ways, Stuart Main, saying, "Keep Nightmare for my 10-week-old son. Please think of the children." And then, of course, the true king of chaos, Remy. Rare Exports to totally win just to upset Stuart. So there you go.
Interestingly, think of the children. That's why I'm picking Rare Exports. One's about one getting Christmas ruined. This is about the remaining Christmas. Ooh, Boyflea has a very interesting comment I'd like to comment on.
Is the boss fight in Rare Exports better than Nightmare?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot. It's so much. I mean, again, I'm coming from this point of love. I love Nightmare Before Christmas, but I'm still on Rare Exports' side for this one. It's hard, isn't it?
I'm gonna go Nightmare, to be honest. I like Rare Exports, but Nightmare is more ingrained in the Christmas spirit and tradition for me. So yeah, I'm gonna go Nightmare, leaving it up to you, Tim, to decide. Or if you just bow out and be a coward, we go to the chat and we see what happens there.
Oh, the chat, fucking hell!
Yeah.
I thought this is Tim's going to be controversial and say, Matt, you're wrong. This film's shit.
I only saw Rare Exports recently. I really liked it. I thought it was really, really good. I'd obviously seen Nightmare Before Christmas before. I also really, really liked that one. I think, like we said, this is one of the hardest ones on the list so far, especially because the two films are comparative in tone, even though one is an 18 and one is a PG or whatever it is.
It's 15 and a PG, but yeah.
Okay, there we go. I'm going with Nightmare.
That's fair.
Remy is going to be upset. He's already.
I'm upset, but also
I can't. Nightmare Before Christmas is one of the strongest ones to win this, along with like the Muppets Christmas Carol, because of nostalgia. But it got on the starting block, and when I saw this thing, I thought it's not going away. Let's go on. Let's move on. Let's just not think about it.
Boo! Sam, get in. PG. It's a fix. Yeah, people are not happy. Moving on to two very different movies. 2003's Tokyo Godfathers, 1 hour and 30 minutes, 91% critic, 91% audience, nice and easy, absolute banger. And Elf from also 2003. That blew my mind that these films came out in the same year. 1 hour and 37, 85 with the critics, and 79 with the audience. So Tokyo Godfathers has it on both sides. So
Christmas in 2003, you could have watched Tokyo Godfathers, Elf, or Love Actually.
Yeah.
What a weird year.
Yeah, weird. Elf, of course, starring Will Ferrell, directed by Jon Favreau, and Tokyo Godfathers, unsurprisingly, one of Matt's picks here. It is, of course, directed by the legendary Satoshi Kon, one of the all-time great anime creators and directors. And very, very weird comparison having these two go against each other. And we have two perfectly balanced comments here straight away. I love Elf. Elf is the most overhyped piece of shit I've ever seen. And we've also got quite a few Tim ruined Christmas.
Thank you. That's what I do.
Elf sucks. Here is my favorite Christmas movie, Elf. Elf is gonna lose. Never seen Tokyo Godfathers, but I hate Elf so much it can't be worse. Don't even waste your time from Remy there. There we go. So yeah, two very. You're probably all very familiar with Elf, I'm sure. You know, kind of a staple at this point. But Matt, I want to hand this over to you specifically to talk about Tokyo Godfathers.
Yeah,
but try to keep it within like 15, 25 minutes. That'd be great.
Yeah, 3 hours. I got it.
And your time starts now.
1948. Western was released by. I'm not kidding. Right. So, 1948. There's a Western by John Ford called Three Godfathers with John Wayne. And it's a Christmas movie, and it's actually pretty fucking good. Like Harry Carey Jr.'s in it, and Pedro Menderes is in it. It's a really fun Christmas Western, which is such a weird thing to think about, but it's pretty decent. And it's solid. It's about these three very, rough and ready rustlers and cowboys, and they basically come across this kid, and it's like you have to take it takes this child on a trail with them, and it's all like 3 Men and a Baby style, sort of like chaos. And it's not bad. It's a good film. Tokyo Godfathers is a anime remake, effectively, of that movie, and overtly, it's just on the surface a comedy about three homeless people having to look after a baby. The same premise as Tokyo Godfather, and they're trying to find the parents, but it is. God, it's so deep. It says so much about the Japanese, because Japan doesn't really talk about the homelessness situation and things like that. And not only that, but it covers elements of the trans community. And
one of the main characters is a drag queen, by the way.
Yeah,
so it's like you've got an alcoholic guy, a teenage girl, and
teenage runaway,
and a drag queen. So it's like
an
interesting combination of three main characters there.
Yeah, and they're all taking care of this kid. So we need to just hand the baby off, basically. It's like, no, we can take care. We can raise ourselves. We can't even take care of ourselves. We have a good life. That kind of thing. It's beautiful, and it's obviously being Satoshi Kon. He's known for Satoshi Kon. If you like Inception, for argument's sake, Nolan took a lot of the visuals from things like Paprika, which is one of his films. Those warped, crazy images and sterilized.
It's basically Inception. Like,
it's, it is. But much better, much bigger. And Perfect Blue is, I mentioned before on the show a lot, but this is probably most
great as well.
Yeah, it's probably most of his most approachable movie. And Tokyo Godfathers, I recommend a lot. I remember talking to one of the Sequelisers EPs about this, because it is also a story of adoption. and it covers so many points.
Yeah.
It's mature, it's beautiful, it's fucking heartbreaking, beautifully animated, and covers all manner of things. And it's also got that really core Christmas spirit about not only the less religious aspect, like the idea of just charity and goodwill and doing the right thing, etc., 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 but also it literally has these people are trying to take care of a newborn baby at Christmas. It's like, Eastern Promises is a Christmas movie that didn't make the list, unfortunately. It has a similar thing with a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's as simple as that. I don't want to say much because people should watch it. It's currently on British Netflix, and I really recommend it. It's beautiful, and I love it. Elf is the inside of your child's head as they run around on a sugar high. That can be really fucking fun.
If you like Will Ferrell, you'll like Elf. If you don't, you won't.
I think Elf is a lot of fun sometimes. It can have some really good moments.
You're
James
on your own
Caan being
mate.
a cantankerous piece of shit. You're my boy and my son, and I'm gonna, buddy, you're and Will Ferrell's just being so fucking hyper. And there are moments. It's also got nice forced perspective photography stuff. Jon Favreau directs it very nicely. Not bad at all. But goddamn, Tokyo Godfathers is and I do not say this word lightly, a fucking masterpiece. Over to you guys.
Yeah, Tim, I want to hear your, because I'm a huge Satoshi Kon fan. I'm kind of like second to Matt, very much second to Matt, a distant second to Matt. Love anime and watch a lot of anime and stuff. But you are definitely the least knowledgeable in that kind of area in anime and stuff of the three of us. Do you like Tokyo Godfathers? Had you seen it before? All that kind of stuff. What's your kind of history there? I'm guessing you saw Elf, and every fucker and their mother has seen Elf.
Yeah,
we live in the Western world, and it's 2021. So
I think I saw Elf in cinemas actually.
Oh wow, there you go.
Yeah, I saw Tokyo Godfathers for this. It's really fucking good. It's really funny.
Again, available on Netflix right now, UK viewers. So go and check it out.
I was not expecting to find it as funny as I did. I was going in prepared for like, oh, this will be sad, and it is, and there's tragic elements to it, and it deals a lot with bleakness and with mental health and with poverty and with homelessness and all those kind of issues. But it's also really funny, and obviously, like, it's Satoshi Kon. It's beautiful to look at. He's so creative as a director. It's an astonishing piece of work. I like Elf. I think, I understand people who hate Will Ferrell, and I don't like him in everything. I really like the finale of Elf. The everyone singing thing.
Oh yeah.
I think that's nice.
Sing, James Caan. Don't just mouth the words, you piece of shit.
Exactly. Yeah. So I like Elf and I have affection for it, but yeah, Tokyo Godfathers is kind of on another level.
Let's vote, boys.
Yeah.
Oh, so difficult. I wonder what I'm going to choose. It's fucking Tokyo Godfathers. I don't like Will Ferrell. I don't like Elf. Tokyo Godfathers is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Also, the spam bot came back and I've now blocked them. So, yeah. And this is actually officially our highest ever view count of concurrent viewers for a live stream. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming and joining us.
Yeah.
And,
hello, everybody. Welcome to us. Making you all very sad by not picking the films you want us to pick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think I'm probably the one who likes Elf the most out of the three of us, I would guess.
I own it.
But you own everything, Matt. That's not an argument
that
for you
doesn't
liking it.
You own objectively bad films just for the sake of completion.
That's true, actually, I do. Yeah.
But yeah, Tokyo Godfathers is great. So I vote for that.
And I'm going Elf.
Matt controversially votes for Elf.
Matt votes Chaos.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me. Okay.
Just for Chaos.
Die Hard, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, that hideous baby.
That fucking baby. 1988's Die Hard. Again, a franchise we have covered on Sequelisers before. We have fixed Die Hard 4. controversially, fuck that movie. I stand by it.
Oh yeah.
94% on the critic score, 94% on the audience score, and a runtime of 2 hours and 11 minutes. Absolute banger, absolute classic. Directed by, of course, John McTiernan, the guy who basically defined 80s action and redefined 80s action and subverted 80s action in many ways. And of course, Bruce fucking Willis. Is it a Christmas movie? Yes, it's a Christmas movie.
There it is. No arguments. Moving
That's
on.
the official stance on Sequelisers. It's on this list. There is a ho ho ho, I have a machine gun.
Yep.
It's set at Christmas. There's a bunch of fucking Christmas trees. It's about a guy trying to get back to his family for Christmas. It's a Christmas film. Tough shit.
Yeah.
And
it's got Christmas in Hollis on it on the soundtrack. So
exactly. Yep. And then leaping forward just over a decade or so to the year 2000. Oh, well, what a year it was. An hour and 45 minutes for the Jim Carrey vehicle that is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. 49% on the Tomatometer with a slightly higher audience score of 56. So, yeah. Die Hard wins on both of those, unsurprisingly.
Will it win over us? Yes.
Yes, it will.
Well, I'll say something just to get this out of the way.
Go on.
I saw How the Grinch Stole Christmas in cinema. I was 16 years old. I enjoyed it because we don't have the Seuss animated thing. My knowledge of the Grinch or How the Grinch Stole Christmas cartoon was seeing it in things like Home Alone and other American things. Like, again, the same thing with It's a Wonderful Life. You didn't see it as a proxy vicariously through other films referencing it. So I'm like, oh, this. And I finally saw it and thought, oh, it's fine. How the Grinch Stole Christmas I enjoyed, but thought, and I have it on DVD, and it's like, yeah, it's a good, solid film. I thought it was enjoyable. I think Jim Carrey's performance was very good. Anthony Hopkins is narrating very well. And that's all fine. It wasn't until the 2018, I want to say, new version of the Grinch.
Well, the Scott Mosier directed that still melts my brain.
Exactly, with Benedict Cumberbatch. And around that time, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse had come out and reminded us that animated films, much like anime, can do anything. And the Grinch was so bland, so shot versus shot.
So by the numbers, wasn't it?
Yeah. I thought, oh my God, Ron Howard with a live-action movie with sets and makeup and everything has more interesting and exciting shots than an animated movie that can literally do anything.
If you're less inventive than the safe pair of hands that is Ron Howard, fucking come on, guys. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But
they
then
made
also
a shit ton of money, I think. But
I made $500 million. So fuck. I do have a soft spot for How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I think it's quite fun. It's got its heart in the right place.
For that fucking terrifying baby, though.
That baby can get in the fucking bin. I do not like that baby.
Oh dear! If only we get pull quotes for these live streams. Like, that baby can get in the fucking bin. Matt Stockton, 2021.
Damn right. Put that on my tombstone.
Yeah, we will.
It does have a lot of bits and pieces that have aged badly because, of course, it does. It's a comedy from the early 2000s. But overall, it's, again, also a very horny film at times. But if we're going to get straight into voting, because I don't think we have anything to say other than, as Jack has pointed out, we all love Die Hard.
Yeah.
Tim, do you just want to get straight to it?
Yeah, I don't like the Grinch.
I agree with you, Tim.
I have no affection. I feel about Jim Carrey and the Grinch the way I feel a lot of people in our stream feel about Will Ferrell in Elf.
Fair.
Yeah, and I admittedly I am the same as Matt in that I first saw the Chuck Jones Grinch through other mediums, through it being referenced and through other stuff like that. But I have seen it since, and yeah, it's the best version. I think Canis said that in our chat. Like, you don't need another version of
pretty much,
of the Grinch. Sure. You've got that amazing Chuck Jones version.
Yeah.
There we go. The only good Grinch is Chuck Jones. Die Hard is a good movie.
Die Hard is
accurate.
Die Hard
Not
is
wrong.
a
Not wrong.
perfect movie.
Maybe award for best comment so far, and I see you trying to up yourself here, John. I know what you're up to. How the Grinch Stole My Detonators. Chef's kiss, John Scarrett. Well done. Yeah. I agree with you, Tim. Pretty much. I don't like the Grinch either. I find Jim Carrey so incredibly hit and miss. Like, I really enjoyed some of his stuff when I was younger, and I've grown to like it less and less. And he's fucking weird. He's just in real life. He's real weird. He did that whole thing where he was in love with Emma Stone and being a real creep for a bit. No, it was weird. He seems real weird. I'm not keen. So yeah.
I think it's me to kick off.
It is, yes.
Yep.
Die Hard all the way.
Yeah, Die Hard.
Yeah, obviously Die Hard. Yeah.
Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Oh, this one's unfortunate.
Some things don't get a fair chomp of the bit because they got to go up against something that people love.
Well, interestingly, this is the one on the list that I have not seen. I did not get around to seeing Arthur Christmas.
Interesting.
Ooh, okay.
Well, we'll get into start off with Home Alone, born in the year of my birth, of course, 1990. An hour and 42 minutes, 66% on the tomatometer. That is way lower than I was expecting, by the way. I forgot because we haven't talked about it in so long on the show. 66%.
Weren't keen on it at the time.
Yeah.
Critics fucking hated Home Alone 2.
Yeah,
Well, yes.
it was.
Yeah.
It was so much outrage about, this is making children violent. It was when we started to turn from children are mischievous scamps, problem child era to children should be protected. We're going to have to save them from all this awful, awful media. It's like, okay, children tend to just be bastards most of the time. And that's good. That's what makes them kids. But at the same time, this is like this. John Hughes had the way of like making these things feel real, like a real family, even if that family happens to be like some sort of weird old gangster Chicago money.
Yeah.
Creepy. What the fuck is in that house other than Poncetters? Anyway.
Interesting enough, it's higher on the audience score, unsurprisingly. I think 80% for Home Alone on the audience score makes sense. And jumping over to Arthur Christmas from 10 years ago, 2011, an hour and 40 and 92% on the tomatometer with an audience score of 76%. So, yeah.
Arthur Christmas is a fascinating one. we don't really have, not want to say we don't have much to say about Home Alone, but we've said so much about Home Alone. We all appreciate it. And I watched it recently again, Home Alone 1 and 2. I still really like them. I have so much nostalgia for Home Alone. Arthur Christmas is fascinating because it's a Sony and an Aardman Animation thing. Aardman Animation, for those who don't know, are the Wallace and Gromit guys. And Chicken Run and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And this is not stop motion. This is obviously CGI. But it's still got the same sort of look and feel of if it were a stop motion movie. And by that I mean the designs and things. It's obviously classically also populated.
Flushed Away was the one they did like that as well.
There we go. Exactly. But this is much stronger. And again, the cast like James McAvoy, Hugh Laurie, Bill Nye, Jim Broadbent. It's some really fucking good British talent. And again, it's a really good alternative Santa Claus kind of tale. It's that sibling family stuff, which has the themes coming in that we usually see associate with Christmas, other than obviously the commercialization of Christmas and the militarization of Christmas. But it was, again, it's much like another Aardman one, which they went to do as a stop motion one, which is the Pirates: An Adventure with Scientists, which I absolutely love, which didn't do as well. And because it's a British film, which isn't an established IP, in 2011, it didn't get. I don't think it got enough fair of it. It did fine. It did very well, obviously critically. It did fine money wise, but I think it's definitely become a cult hit that people now like quite a lot.
Yeah, Arthur Christmas is an interesting one because I was looking up when I was getting my tabs open ready for Rotten Tomatoes and stuff, because I've got my second screen over there. That's why I keep glancing over here, viewers, if you haven't already guessed. And looking at like, what else has Sarah Smith done? The answer is nothing. And now Ron's Gone Home has come out on Disney Plus and stuff. That is her second directorial film. And
Ron's Gone Wrong.
Ron's Gone Wrong. Sorry, yes. I read Home Alone and Ron's Gone Home. Ron's Gone Wrong.
Jack's anti-robo go home robots.
Exactly. But yeah, that's also getting good reviews from what I've seen. I haven't watched it myself. I've heard good things. I might even get around to watching it over Christmas. But yeah, I think After Christmas is one of those ones where a lot of people kind of, like you said, didn't pay attention to it at the time, and it's not really clicked into that nostalgia Christmas tradition thing, like so many other animated things. And we mentioned Nightmare Before Christmas earlier, that kind of stuff, where I feel like it kind of missed that opportunity. And I'm sure some people are diehard fans. There are some people out there that are like, oh, I watched it when I was a kid and all that kind of stuff. But it never really kind of got that classic traction that I think a lot of animated Christmas movies do. But I think it's really underrated. I really, really enjoy it. Obviously, the critics score speaks for itself there with 92%. Like, it's not underrated by the critics, but underappreciated, underviewed by a lot of people.
Yeah, just underseen.
Yeah, exactly. It flew under the radar for a long time. And yeah, I really, really like it. I was pleasantly surprised.
You talk about how, for example, The Grinch is a very, as in the 2018 one with Benedict Cumberbatch, is a really flat, obvious Illumination style movie because it's made by Illumination Studios. And it's frustrating because it made $500 million.
Yeah,
I feel this film could have easily done that, except for the fact that A, it's British sounding, which means some Americans go, ugh, even though some would love the shit out of that because, you know, that's part of the selling point sometimes. And also because the marketing behind it. Yes, it had Sony's money behind it, you know, through Columbia, but it wasn't really heavily advertised at the time. This was one that didn't get or at least didn't seemingly get a huge release and a huge push at it. But I think is the kind of film where if I say, oh, have you watched this? Don't know. Watch it with the kids, whatever. People love it. And again, it has so many dynamic, interesting shots. There's multi-generational stuff going on. It's fun. It's quirky. It's silly. It's very British at times in a both positive and negative way. I think it's got a lot of heart. I really do.
Everyone I know who has seen Arthur Christmas really likes Arthur Christmas. So I think it just needs that critical mass of people discovering it.
Yeah,
you know, over time.
Go check it out. But then Home Alone's Home Alone, so it's a really fucking difficult choice.
Yeah. Home Alone is one of those ones that has, as I said, like clicked into place for the Christmas tradition and is such a perfect example of that nostalgia kind of, I watch it every Christmas kind of film that so many people have in their traditional Christmas movie watching and stuff. So yeah, I think it's kind of a hidden gem, kind of a dark horse kind of thing, and then an absolute classic is kind of
a juggernaut of
a juggernaut of Christmas. I mean, I think it tops many Christmas movie lists for many people around.
Well, Home Alone was one of the highest grossing films of that year, I believe.
It was, yeah.
So it's not, it surpasses that. Oh, it's a good Christmas film. It's like, no, it's a blockbuster. It's the kind of thing that went to the
multiple sequels, as we've talked about on the show before.
Yeah, shocking sequels.
Yeah,
and a reboot recently.
Oh yeah, Sweet Home Alone.
It's sequel, isn't it?
Yeah, it is
it's
a sequel.
thing.
Yeah. Which is apparently a big pile of shit. So
I've heard it's fine. Tim first? Me first.
I got it's you first, and I'm
you
sitting
first,
this
Matthew.
one out.
I saw Home Alone 1 and 2 in the cinema. I was 6 and 8 respectively, or 6 and 7 respectively. No, 6 and 8. I still love it. I love the Corridor digital version where they made it all R-rated and tons of blood and madness. Scampish nature. I surfed down the sofa. I took the sofa cushions off, and as in like the back of the sofa, and I would ride down the staircase in my house as a kid because I saw Kevin McAllister with his sleigh going trying to launch himself out the front door. So I can see it's a very bad influence on me. But Home Alone's my favorite.
Fair enough. To touch on the box office stuff you mentioned earlier, Matt, Home Alone was made for $18 million and made nearly $500 million in 1990.
Holy
so
shit.
about $476 million 30 fucking years ago. And then Arthur Christmas made for $100 million budget because it's a modern animated film and only grossed 147 on that budget. So lost money, and Aardman have had all sorts of trouble over the last 10, 15 years or so. Whether that's, the tragedies they had with like the fires and stuff that happened in a lot of their studios, lost a load of their assets and all this kind of stuff. And Aardman are a weird kind of, people are mentioning Gromit in the comments, like the classic, come on, Gromit kind of stuff. Like, yeah. When I think of Aardman, I think of the stop motion animation stuff from my childhood and kind of forget Arthur Christmas. Then I'm like, oh yeah, Arthur Christmas is Aardman. That's weird. It looks like DreamWorks. Arthur looks like every other DreamWorks protagonist of the.
I don't know. He's not. He's not smirking.
That's true. He hasn't got the.
He does look like, what is his name from? Is it Linguini from fucking Ratatouille?
Yes.
Yeah. They all look exactly the same. So on that basis, I'm gonna go Arthur Christmas. And
I respect it. I respect it.
And Tim, if you're sitting this out, this is going to go to the chat.
Oh God!
So
yeah.
Our first vote from the viewers. So please do get your votes in now. Arthur Christmas versus Home Alone. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes. I'll read a few more comments. We'll go through a few bits and pieces.
I will say, whichever wins, we lose. No, whichever wins, I'm genuinely happy with.
We lose. Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I genuinely, I think both have their own merit in their own way. I think Home Alone is graded far too low on Rotten Tomatoes, considering it's really well constructed by Chris Columbus and written well by John Hughes. But Arthur Christmas needs more eyeballs on it because it's really fucking good. So yeah, whichever way this goes. Also, it's released in fucking November. What a dumb thing to do.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea. Interesting comment from Boyflea here. I think Home Alone is better appreciated by kids and Arthur Christmas is more for parents.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, no. I mean, it's probably appreciated by older people, but I think Arthur Christmas works for kids as well. Having watched it as a man in his 20s, I can confirm it's good for kids because I am a giant man-child. Remy, go for the charming young one. Home Alone is just too predictable. Interesting. I mean, we've caused a lot of chaos so far. We will see. But like I said, this one's up to you guys. So we'll find out from you guys in a moment. Really interesting comment here from Remy as well. We need Leica to make a Christmas movie. He did correct his spelling in the next one as well. But
I agree.
More Studio Leica stuff, please. Leica make incredible looking movies. And we need more of that in our lives. So, I need to find the R-rated version. It is literally the Corridor Crew. Corridor Digital is the YouTube channel. We mention them all the time on the show because they do special effects breakdowns, stunt coordination breakdowns, all this kind of backstage stuff. So if you search Corridor, the word Corridor on Home Alone, it will probably be the first result on YouTube if you go and search there. And yeah, they do great stuff. I regularly recommend Corridor Digital and those guys and what they do, whether they're remaking stuff or explaining stuff or going behind the scenes on stuff. It's always interesting content on YouTube. Right, let's have a look at some comments, shall we?
Yep.
So we've got Home Alone 1, Arthur Christmas, second Arthur Christmas, third Arthur Christmas, second Home Alone, Arthur Christmas, Arthur Christmas again, Arthur Christmas again, Home Alone. Home Alone was good, but a bit too kitschy. Does that count as a vote?
I think Drake has one slightly higher up. That's Arthur Christmas.
Yes.
Oh yeah. You are correct. So I haven't seen Arthur Christmas, so enjoyed Home Alone. So dunno. You're out of the running, Canis. You're like Tim. Also, Canis is another example, as well as Xenos, who is usually a regular in our chat as well. Another person who has just not seen any films. It's kind of impressive how few films they've seen, considering we're a film podcast and film YouTube channel.
It sounds like this is a bit of a runaway.
I think it's Arthur Christmas.
Arthur Christmas is not Home Alone and It's a Wonderful Life knocked out. And we've got another Arthur Christmas vote from Stuart there as well.
Yeah.
This is fascinating.
It's a Wonderful Life and Home Alone. Many people's favorite Christmas movies did make it out of Home Alone. Fascinating.
Yeah. This is going to kick off. No, okay, let's just do it. Let's do it. Right. Klaus, the Santa Claus.
Christmas has forsaken us. Thanks, Pandemonium. Klaus, early vote there from Remy, straight away.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. So there are two movies here. Very, very, very different in tone, but the same subject matter, arguably.
Yeah.
So Klaus is the most recent on our list. It's from 2019. It is an animated movie. It came into the cinemas, but it's known as an animated Netflix movie.
Yeah.
What it actually is a Spanish movie with some French technology and some American funding. We'll get more on that later. And it's the story of the origin of Father Christmas as per this this setting. And it's it's good. We'll get back to it later. Santa Claus is a Tim Allen vehicle. Again, a lot of nostalgia for it. Judge Reinhold and things like that. It's 90. I've forgotten the year now.
1994.
Yes, 94. Thank you. And it launched 2 sequels. I want to say, I think maybe a third one, but I think as a fourth film. But yes, there's 3 of them.
There's definitely 3 of them. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And it was okay. I have a lot of nostalgia for the Santa Claus. That kind of screwed with me as a 10-year-old, saying, "Oh, have I been spelling it wrong?" Not realizing that clause is a legal thing, and you're like, "Oh, right, it's a contract thing."
It's a pun, Matthew. That's what.
Yeah,
that is.
maybe that's why I hate puns so much.
When I try to break it from your memory.
Yeah, and it's that classic setup of Tim Allen murders Father Christmas.
He does,
and then replaces him because it's sort of like Highlander, I guess. There can be only one, and if you kill him, you get all the power.
Did Father Christmas explode into a blob of lightning via the quickening? Did I miss that?
I mean, he disappears out of his clothes like fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Did he become more powerful than we can possibly imagine? Maybe he did.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's a kids' film.
No, he becomes Tim Allen.
Yeah,
AKA more powerful than we could possibly imagine. Yeah,
yeah. It's a kids' film pitching to adults because it's really about divorce, and
the
Santa Claus is a movie that is not talking to children because it doesn't. It says Father Christmas isn't real, and this is kind of is though, kids, right? The magic's real. It's like no. A lot of characters in this film are adults saying Father Christmas isn't real. And Matthew's your first Christmas film as a kid going, what? What does he mean? Let's just keep watching and fucking hell.
I have real problems with Santa Claus. Because your Christmas film shouldn't start with you killing Father Christmas.
Only kidnapping, as per the
Tim Allen, you fuck. You fuck.
Tim Allen deserves nothing good. Well said.
Agreed.
Yeah.
To get into some comments here before we get to stats and stuff, because there's some bangers. I felt like as a kid, I didn't appreciate how fucking weird Santa Claus is. Agreed. Yeah. I watched it when I was real young and then didn't watch it for 15 years and then watched it a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
That film's fucking weird.
JFC's on it.
JFC is on it. Of course he is. Santa Claus's Chronicles of Riddick. You keep what you kill.
Yeah, very good.
I mean,
I wish
the
I
law
could
works.
watch Tim Allen get beaten up by Carl Urban.
The Chronicles of Christmas. Yeah.
Isn't that
that's Kurt Russell, isn't it?
That's the Kurt Russell one.
It is. Yeah. Where are we? This is unrelated to the Klaus comic. Yes, it is. The Klaus where he has a big axe and he's going around like murdering stuff, and he's an anti-hero character.
Weirdly similar aesthetically.
Similar kind of vibes. Yeah.
Like Rise of the Guardians, a similar sort of big burly man with an axe tone.
The comic is extremely good. It's Grant Morrison and I think Dan Mora doing
spot on too. Yep.
And they're like they come out with them. They've done several of them and they're all really good.
Yeah, there is. It started off with a 7-issue series, like 2015. I want to say something like that. And yeah, it's more like medieval times and doing like Scandinavian kind of like Hansel and Gretel type stuff, and all kind of like really really cool. Grant Morrison, Dan Mora, as you said, absolutely fantastic combination. Grant Morrison, all-time great comic creator. They are utterly fantastic. Fucking weird with some of the ideas that they come up with, but Grant is an absolute all-time great comic book creator in my eyes, and Dan Mora is a fantastic artist as well. So if you do want to go and check out the Klaus comic book, it's not this, but I recommend it nonetheless.
What's the stats?
Speaking of Klaus, let's get into some stats, shall we? As I said, 2019, as you said, Matt, earlier, the most recent of these films, 94% on the tomatometer and a 96%, the highest audience score we've had so far, by the way, on the audience score. Coming over to, as I said earlier, 1994's The Santa Claus, 72 on the tomatometer and 65 on the audience. So the critics and the audience very, very clearly prefer Klaus. And I'll get this out of the way now. So do I. Fuck Tim Allen. Klaus is fantastic. So, yeah.
To what I'm going to drill on some stuff very quickly because we might come later. Klaus is, as I said before, it's a Spanish production. Sergio Pablos is the director, and it's again it's like rare exports, very European in that it's real fucking dark for a kids film, but beautifully so. And it's about this postmaster who's like very. It's kind of like, how much I hate or don't like this film particularly. Emperor's New Groove, the spoilt kid who's sent out into the world. Like, well, now you got to go prove yourself over here. Here's your punishment, and he has to go to this town, which is the most hostile island in this north of this fictional land. I don't remember what it's called, like Snadelberg or something. Smearsburg.
Yeah.
Smearsburg. So it's very Scandinavian kind of area. Is it Denmark? Is it Norway? Is it Finland? Who knows? But it's that kind of aesthetic, which is good. And it's certain sort of like 1800s period, and he's assigned by his father the task of setting up a successful post office in the most hostile town, where they literally have been for by the implication is thousands of years been fighting in just clan wars.
Two families that are feuding, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And he does this by sort of inventing accidentally through self-service a lot of the Christmas traditions we understand now for the Father Christmas sort of mythology. So you have to send a letter to say things. And if you've been a bad kid, you get a lump of coal. Nothing for you. And if you do something, it's either like a good act or a goodwill was returned and so forth. And he also then meets this man in the woods, with an old toy maker who has these toys. He says, well, okay, we'll deliver these things. It's a whole thing. And as the plot develops, it's beautifully funny. Now, the thing is, other than being Christmas cat,
Christmas cat. Put your leg away.
Other than being a very nice and well-done story with J.K. Simmons and Jason Schwartzman and Rashida Jones, Will Sasso, and Norm Macdonald, one of the Norm Macdonald's final films, and Joan Cusack. It's really good.
Norm Macdonald, bloody hell.
Yeah, it's really nice. Most importantly, it's a 2D animated movie. And people don't know that, because when you look at it, you go, oh, it's CGI. It's like, there are CGI elements. Of course there are, because, it's got like vehicles are very hard to make consistent.
Yeah,
but
and it's got the is it volumetric lighting?
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, they had to develop their own lighting thing to make it work. It's utterly fascinating and really pretty. Really pretty. In the same way,
gorgeous.
The same way Roger Deakins worked on like How to Train Your Dragon and said, we need the lighting to do this. It's like, that's a stunning film.
It might be the best looking film on this list, and this is a list that includes Tokyo Godfathers.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think I watched it yesterday with my wife because she hadn't seen it. I thought, oh, I'll watch that. It's Christmas next week. And I hadn't seen it since it was released in 2019. This film, I can't remember who it was up again, but it was up for an Oscar for the best animated film. And it's one of those weird things about the movies on this list. And I know the Oscars is a point of contention, and I get that, but it was nominated for an Oscar outside of Christmas. You have to remember, when you're in like February, March, April, nobody gives a fuck about Christmas. So to see that thing even on the list is like, holy shit, that's pretty impressive. It was up against, if I remember correctly, and by remember I mean I'm looking now.
2019.
One second.
Frozen
Sorry,
2?
everybody. It was up against Toy Story 4, How to Train Your Dragon 3, I Lost My Body, and Missing Link, which is a Leica film. And that's heavy. And obviously, Toy Story 4 won, because of course it fucking did. But that's heavy competition and very much deserved to be among those listed. I assume you've both seen it now?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like we said, available on Netflix. So Yeah,
Yes.
no
Yeah.
excuse. Go and check it out.
Let's get to the voting. Let's get through then. Let's get to it.
Yeah.
Let's get to it.
So, sadly,
let's
just to
get
answer
stuck in.
Drake's question, it's sadly not a squig. But I could see how you
Unfortunately
would
not.
make that assumption.
Just angry ass dog. It's Jack first, I believe.
Klaus, easy. Easy peasy.
Klaus, 1,000%. Fuck Tim Allen.
I agree. Moving on.
Right.
Last
of the
outside.
first round. The big one for some people, I think. Very big. 1992's The Muppets Christmas Carol, 76% on the tomatometer, lower than I thought it was going to be. Audience score of 86%. Up against Bad Santa from 2003, the year of Christmas, apparently.
2003.
Yeah. 78% on the tomatometer and a 75 from the audience score. So, yeah. There we go. What a comparison. I can't believe that Bad Santa has a higher critical score than the Muppets Christmas Carol, but
It's subversive and
my brain.
people don't have usually, well, until 2003 when ton of them came out, people didn't usually have a lot of films around Christmas that they could watch without their kids and still getting the Christmas spirit, as it were, or like, oh, I want to watch something, unless you're watching like Lethal Weapon or something or Die Hard. I don't mind Bad Santa. I think it's really irreverent. It's the classic early 2000s comedy where it's like, oh my god, this is aged so badly. But it's trying to be aggressive. It's almost Farrelly Brothers level of like trying to actively gross you out and make you go, Muppets Christmas Carol, I love and adore, and I love the fact that it's a film with Muppets and Michael Caine is doing it as seriously as he can. I put up a little tweet earlier about that, about how he's like, something that's not welcome, that's not a rat, a mouse, or a dog. What's that? I know. What is it? What? It's Ebenezer Scrooge. He goes, yes. And everyone's like being very, fucking panto. You cut to Michael Caine. He's like, genuinely like, that's why I did this voice. I went, you dirty fucking bastard. You can see this behind his eyes. He's channeling all this rage because he's taking it seriously. And I kind of love that.
He said like the only way to do it, he would do it was if he could treat it as like doing Royal Shakespeare Company type stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not going to...
That's what makes it work.
I'm not going to lean into the Muppet of it all. I'm going to take it seriously. And it's amazing.
Yeah.
Just so great. Perfect for
great
this.
songs.
Yeah. Great songs.
Sorry, busy blocking more spam comments in the chat again.
That's what happens when you're
That's
a
what we
giant
pay for
success.
popularity, man. Good
Yeah.
lord. Go. How are you? I keep blocking this user. How you keep coming back? Go
It's
away.
the internet, Jack. They've got a lot more experience on this. Also,
But yeah,
so much
you're totally right, Matt. I think why Muppets Christmas Carol works so well, Michael Caine being basically completely straight and balancing out all of the mad bollocks that the Muppets are doing around him is just, it's just so perfect. Brilliant kind of contrast between the two.
If that little frog dies, I won't know what to do. I'll be beside myself. So I'll buy him a turkey and I'll put that little frog in it. It's so weird because you're like, where are all the Muppets going to turn up? And they turn up perfectly, and there's so much fourth wall breaking stuff. And this is a key thing here, so we haven't brought up yet. A Christmas Carol, which again, much like It's a Wonderful Life, was a weird one that was when it was written originally. And it almost invented or brought in a lot of Germanic traditions that, the royal family were doing at the time in Victorian Britain. And Charles Dickens was kind of creating a lot of our traditions now for the Christmas season. And it's so weird because at Christmas Carol, there are so many versions of this story. There are so many interpretations, and we axed so many. This we feel is the definitive one for, let's face it, our demographic and us, because it's the most enjoyable one. I love and hate A Christmas Carol as a story. I get what it's in there. I like it as a message. I feel it's very antiquated, but it works with Muppets because it's more tolerable.
and it's a good adaptation because it covers exactly. There are two Marleys. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Doesn't matter. Shut up. We got these two characters we're shoehorning in.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the songs are really good. So it's good stuff. I like it. Bad Santa is fun, irreverent, and stupid. But I haven't rewatched it much. And this got a terrible sequel.
It did get a terrible sequel. Probably somewhere on our list, I'm sure.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Should we get any comments on this one? Or anything you guys want to add?
We have got a few comments, yeah. I would say Muppet Christmas Carol is contender for the best adaptation of the book. The best Christmas Carol.
Has a lot of the
I would say so.
Dickensian like dialogue and stuff in there.
Yeah.
And Gonzo being Dickens himself, which is great.
Yes.
The best Christmas Carol is, of course, Blackadder. Good.
Yeah.
I mean, good shout there, Stuart.
Good shout.
Muppet Christmas Carol has a lot of very understated acting and then a lot of Tim Curry levels of ham. Spot on. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Bad Santa is a weird movie. Yes, it is.
It
Tim,
is a weird movie.
Accurate.
Yeah. Meatball Guy 1. I admittedly preferred Scrooged over MCC. Scrooged, not on this list, by the way. Please don't crucify me for it. We won't, as long as you don't crucify us for not including it on the list. So
It was discussed.
Yes.
It was. Future suggestion for an episode. Which movie would you remake as a Muppet version? It's the classic question. I've seen this go around Twitter a bunch of times. Like, you keep one human actor and replace everyone else with Muppets. Do that film. Turn it into Muppets Christmas Carol, basically. And yeah, there's so many. And Neil Patrick Harris is the only human.
Yes.
Yeah.
God.
Exactly. I mean, do the entire Nolan trilogy and you keep Michael Caine.
Yeah.
Like,
Actually, I'm going to say Gone Girl, but keep Ben Affleck because I think his face he just wouldn't be able to do the Muppets. He'd be like so depressed and out of his element. It'd be, it's so good. He'd be more out of sync. The Muppet Tyler Perry comes in. You're like, what the fuck is this? oh, God, yeah. Anyway, not the point. Not the point.
There you go. Should we get on to voting? You guys ready? Yeah.
I think it's...
Is it Tim?
I think it's background to Jack.
No, Jack did Klaus first.
I just did Klaus. It's you.
Oh,
it's
okay.
you, mate.
It's me. Muppets.
Muppet
version of The Martian. Muppet The Departed. Speed, but keep Hopper. Muppet Handmaid. Oh.
Meet the Handmaiden.
This is the most Stuart Main comment I've ever seen in my life. Muppet Tron Legacy and keep Olivia Wilde.
Stop being so horny. And adding Muppets into your horniness.
Oh, God. Well,
I mean, I'm gaslighting you because it's too much for me.
Yeah. Absolutely Muppets. Of course it's Muppets. Clean sweep for Muppets.
Let's go full screen and have a look at that.
Yeah.
Ooh, we have. I would never have predicted this as where we are now.
Some giants.
We've slain some giants along the way. But the pace will pick up now because we have discussed these movies. We've gotten all the stats out of the way. Let's get stuck in because some of these decisions are going to be difficult. So
I'm going to fight hard for some of this stuff. I'm
sure you are.
Now, like, let's go for it.
Matt will die on his sword for Tokyo Godfathers. So that's going to be interesting.
I am going to cut some motherfuckers. Okay. Jingle the way, Gremlins. It's me first.
It is. Really? I'm surprised it's taken this long.
Yeah, because I'm surprised. Jingle all the way?
What?
What?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know why, but that's my answer.
What?
Man.
Nobody likes Booster. Everyone's Turbo Man.
I thought,
can quote more than I can of Gremlins. Weird.
Oh my God. Okay. Oh, well, this is an easy one. Obviously, Gremlins are going through, and you're like, jingle all the way. I don't know. Fuck's sake. Gremlins for me, please.
Yes, Gremlins. I don't know what Matt has done.
Jingle All the Way has more of a spot in my heart, but Gremlins is, I think it's a better Christmas movie.
It's a good movie.
I for some reason was like, what am I doing?
Battle of the Animated Titans. Oh God, this is me first, isn't it? Yeah, one of them is nostalgic, obviously, like I said, but only fairly recently nostalgic, as I said earlier, since I've been having Christmases with Emma and stuff like that. So, yeah, we've got some votes in the chat here already. Some people, Tokyo Godfathers, obviously. Stuart saying Nightmare Before Christmas. Tokyo from Remy. Somebody please think of the children. Hey Stuart, I don't like kids, so sorry, mate. I'm terrible with kids. Don't like kids. Don't plan on having kids. So you're not selling me. If anything, you're shooting yourself in the foot, and I'm voting Tokyo Godfathers. So
there's also some worries that Matt has been replaced by the spam bot.
Yes. Yeah.
Meet some horny singles in your area.
No, I'm never feeling all right. It's Christmas, son.
We've established Matt is always tired.
I am remarkably tired.
I mean, he's a man in his mid to late 30s. So
yeah, I'm tired and in a lot of pain. And I have a lot of opinions about Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
Goddamn millennials.
Tim, what do you reckon?
Yeah.
Not that
I'm
it matters.
Go
I don't think.
with Tokyo Godfathers.
Oh, clean sweep for Satoshi Kon, baby.
I would have. Yeah.
Obviously, you would. We know what your vote is, man. Don't tease us. It'd be ridiculous.
I would just say Jingle All the Way again.
That's an option. Jingle All the Way.
I'm so happy that Tokyo Godfathers got as far as it did so far because that's such a beautiful film. Anyway, right.
It is.
Oh, this is probably one of the easier ones, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Tim, you're up first for this one.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen Arthur Christmas, but also Die Hard.
Oh yeah,
it's Die Hard.
We're getting Fs in the chat already. For...
Hey, respect, motherfuckers.
This is how we know we've made it. We've got spam bots and people doing Fs in the chat. We are fucking Twitch streamers basically at this point.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's Die Hard for me. So, Jack,
it's Die Hard for me as well. Naturally,
we don't need to go to the audience that one because even if Tim hasn't seen Arthur Christmas, it's still 2 over 3. So
again, fucking Die Hard, isn't it?
Yep.
There you go.
I think that's unsurprising to get to.
It's perfectly said by Drake here. As much as I like Arthur Christmas, it's got to be Die Hard. Like it has to be Die Hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one. This is a very interesting one. It is you first, Matthew. Yeah.
Klaus.
Oh, Billy.
I'll tell thee for why. I'll tell thee for why. It's fucking beautiful. It's tightly written. It's really executed well. There's nothing wrong with it. It's almost flawless. It's pioneering technology visually. The voice acting is cute for kids. It's good for adults. It's got some really heartfelt messages about all sorts of stuff. It feels nicely comfortable and predictable in a way you can work out where things are going because of Christmas traditions. Muppets Christmas Carol is a really cool, fun version of a story that I have seen played to death. Yes, no cheeses for us Mises. Yeah, Marley, beautiful, but Klaus is just good cinema.
You're getting some support in the chat here, mate. I don't know if you saw us flashing up all the comments there.
Love it.
A lot of people
Muppets.
support. Even I love Muppets, but Klaus is probably the most interesting one here. Like, Klaus is. I think Arthur Christmas, as much as I said, is like the hidden gem of this group. If I recommend anything that is like not like, if you haven't seen Die Hard, go and watch fucking Die Hard. Like, come on. But if any of the ones that are like kind of lesser known, Klaus is my recommendation for sure. Like, if you're going to watch any of these things, like, I need a new Christmas film to watch, and I've seen all the obvious ones, Klaus is my pick for like hidden gems on this list. And it's an interesting one, isn't it? It's very interesting. But Muppets Christmas Carol.
What's your choice?
Next, Muppets Christmas Carol is a banger, though. It's an absolute.
It is. It is amazing. I love it.
I love Muppets Christmas Carol, but I'm coming out with this a strong desire to watch Klaus. Good, like I said, it's on Netflix. Everybody go and watch Netflix right now. So
I'm gonna check something very quickly.
What are you checking, Matthew?
Ever your mind, boy.
but it's Christmas Eve, sir.
What?
What? What are you doing?
I'm just figuring it out.
I'm almost there.
It's just great live stream content, Matt. What the fuck are you doing?
Well, you guys keep talking yourself. You're still working out votes and things, aren't you? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out if The Muppets Christmas Carol was nominated for an Oscar. The answer is no. Oh, wow.
Oh, right.
The Muppets Christmas Carol got like almost no nominations for anything. It got one nominee for a Grammy
Yeah.
because it's a Muppets film. Whereas
That
again,
doesn't
Klaus
surprise
is revered as like, Annie Awards and Academy Awards and BAFTAs, and it's like, yeah, because it's fucking good cinema.
Yeah.
Not that should sway you, because that's just critical opinion, obviously, and award ceremonies are a whole thing. But anyway, point is,
Muppets Christmas Carol.
so you do, Tim.
Yeah, Tim, down to you, mate.
Klaus is beautiful, and people should watch it.
There we go.
But Muppets Christmas Carol,
Yes.
because it's also beautiful. That shot of Kermit walking home with Robin on his shoulder, where it's the
rolling thing,
the pavement is what rolling underneath them.
You're right.
It's so good. And
I don't like the creepy underwater doll baby.
They invented a whole technology to make that, essentially.
That's true. That's true.
Like that is good cinema.
Tim,
That is
do the right
creativity.
thing. Remy, fuck off. Horror face. Remy is the only person I know who still uses that kind of emoji. that horrified face.
Let's put it through.
You people are all the worst. Usually Remy's ragging on me. Now he's turned his ire towards Tim. Tim was meant to bring balance to the Sequelisers, not destroy them.
To me, the Muppets are evil. You truly are lost.
And you truly are lost, Brian Henson.
Okay,
That is a good quarterfinal we have.
It's good, but it's so weird.
Sorry, semi-finals.
Yeah,
I don't.
Semi-finals.
Yeah, it's so surreal to see this. I never would have expected in a million years this would be the final four. I like them, but god damn, that's weird. Let's do a zoomy. Boop.
Please do.
Gremlins versus Tokyo Godfathers. Both dark in their own way, both funny in their own
What
way.
a weird combination.
Both not, some would say they're not Christmas movies. It's like they most definitely both are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they absolutely are. Interesting suggestion here from Pandemonium. So, four-way tie? Nice and easy?
We came close with Steven Spielberg. It's like, can we just leave all four of these here? It's like all four of these are masterpieces.
Just keep fantastic. All the rest of them, like, oh, it's fine.
Yeah. 3 World War II films and a Jurassic Park.
Oh dear.
It's Jack
first.
Yeah.
It is. It's surprisingly easy for me. Matt's eyebrow raised there. We're getting some votes. We got Gremlins vote here. Gremlins vote from Stuart because he's bitter about Nightmare. Of course he is. Jonathan Firth Clark is off.
See you, Jonathan. Merry Christmas.
Cheers for joining us, Jonathan. I'm sure we'll catch up soon. I'm sure we'll spoil the winner for you on Discord if you want to have that spoiled for you. By the way, folks, if you're not already on our Discord and you're watching this on YouTube later, there is a link in the description. I will have that up by the time this goes live and published and all that kind of stuff. Click on the link. It's a lovely little invite. Vast majority of the people you're seeing in the comments here are in the Discord, in the chat, and the three of us are also in the Discord. So if you want to come and basically do like a post-show discussion from the live streams, from the main episodes and stuff, come and join us in the Discord. It's a barrel of laughs, and all the lovely people here are in it. Join the Discord if you dare, from Meatball Guy 1. There you go.
I would say that we do obviously announce these things on the Discord along with all the episodes. There's teasers for like the episodes and stuff. We do big spoiler tags to say what the brackets are like before and after, to show what there was on there and how we ended up getting there, basically. But also we have a bit of a cool down with everyone saying, "Oh my god, why did they pick this? How did that not go through?" And it's like, it whole becomes a whole thing. And anyone who's in the moment said, "Well, they said this," and they had their own opinions. It's a really nice community. So yeah, feel free to join if you haven't already.
Tokyo Godfathers.
Tim,
just to drop the bomb.
Tokyo Godfathers.
Oh my god!
Jingle all the way. I mean, what? Yeah. Tokyo Godfathers it is in the final. And fuck me, that deserves to be. My favorite Christmas film didn't get off the starting block. This is like the second or third favorite Christmas film. I fucking adore this movie. So this getting here,
Which one is your favorite Christmas film?
Rare
Rare
Exports.
Exports.
Oh, of
It's
course.
genuinely my favorite Christmas film. I fucking love it.
Of course,
Right.
it fucking is.
Clean sweep for Tokyo Godfathers. I love you all from Remy.
Hey, that's what Christmas is all
We've
about.
won him back. We pulled you back in, Remy.
Here we go. This one's going to be really
Justice
divisive
for
for a lot
Tokyo
of people.
Godfathers. Oh God! So this is probably my number 1 and number 2 for your rare exports.
There we go.
For your rare exports and Tokyo Godfathers, this is my number 1 and number 2. This is tough. This is very, very tough.
Put it this way: if Rare Exports had got off the starting block and it was Rare Exports to Tokyo Godfathers, I've been so up like shit creek. Like, oh fuck!
We should have done that just to annoy you.
No, I would
have been delicious.
I'm not gonna lie, I might have cried.
Right. Can we rewind and just?
I'm not having that
redo the
Sophie's choice in my life.
I just need Matt crying on stream. That's
Alternate
YouTube
universe.
gold. That's what that is. That's what we need. Tim.
It's me
Oh,
first.
yeah, Tim first.
I watch Die Hard every Christmas Eve. And I said earlier it's a perfect film. I genuinely think it's a perfect film.
Agreed.
But
we're
not voting for perfect film. We're voting for the best Christmas film. And Muppets Christmas Carol is a better Christmas film than Die Hard.
My vote is Die Hard. I disagree, Tim. I think that Die Hard's a better Christmas film than Muppets Christmas Carol because it has the same messages and stuff. Because I said it before, but I voted Klaus over Muppets Christmas Carol. Die Hard is as Tim said. I watch it every year as well, mostly. I also watch Muppets Christmas Carol every year. But I think the problem with saying the best Christmas film or my favorite, or etc., is we tend to pitch down. As in, we think, what's the most appropriate for families and kids and so on? And it's like, yeah, no, I get that. That's entirely fair.
That have kids, it doesn't matter.
It's fun as shit, and it's about a man. It's about a man trying to get back to his family. That's pretty Christmassy. So Die Hard, my pick. It's up to you, Jack.
I stand with Tim. Tim, please, you're breaking my heart. Blasphemy, mate. Muppets Christmas Carol is the only thing my whole family sit down and watch from Canis. I mean, we're getting some good comments here from like people finally watching Tokyo Godfathers. So
yes, my work here is done.
Like Klaus and Tokyo Godfathers are my 2 recommended. I know I said this earlier, but those 2, if you have not seen them, go out of your way. And as Tim A said, there, based in the US. Thank you very much for joining us. First of all, with the weird time zones and stuff, but. Yeah, I think it is available on a streaming service. I will do some research for you, Tim, and I'll get back to you and have a look on that while I tear apart the thing because I'm going to put it to the vote. I'm sending it to the chat.
Hang on.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
We do it when no, Jack.
No. It's Christmas.
You've seen both of them, therefore you can't just
I've never seen either of them. There you go. Go to the chat.
No. I'm sorry. We're not having this bullshit. Jack, pick between your 2 favorite Christmas films. Cry, motherfucker.
I feel like somebody has abstained and we've sent it to the.
No, we've never done that. It's just because people
we definitely
have.
We definitely
Never.
have. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, great. I'm just getting dragged by the chat now. Make a decision.
I mean, I would be definitely curious to see what the audience would do.
Have.
But the vote has to come to you, dude. Sorry.
Yeah.
Vote anyway. Lovely
Yes.
viewers. But I will
definitely.
make the decision.
Yes.
Fucking hell.
Otherwise, henceforth, we will always introduce you as the coward Jack Chambers.
That's true. Yeah.
It's
That's appropriate.
Yeah, I think I do. I get it though, dude. I do understand, but I will always fall back on that at some point. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Lots
it's dangerous to set the precedent.
Embrace your destiny.
It seems very 50-50 in the chat, so even that's fucked.
Yeah. So it would have been Die Hard, and then Muppets, Die Hard. Oh god. Ironically, Jack is becoming John McClane. He's all but ready to shout, "I'm on your side, assholes!" Oh, I'm gonna go with Die Hard. Oh, it breaks my heart. I'm going with Die Hard.
It's done. No fault.
And
at
can
this
you
great
confirm or
design.
deny this, please, Matthew?
Hello?
Matt's cried enough last week.
I cry in general.
Yeah. there you go.
Wait, from what specifically?
I don't know. Probably something you said on an episode.
I probably did say something about how I was crying and things, yeah. So I apologize for like missing my
Conan?
own.
Did you cry watching Conan? I'm sure you did. It's the only explanation.
That's all I've got. Yeah, fill me in on what I did, and I'll happily say, "Oh yeah, no, I did that." But I cry every now and again. Fuck. Finale.
Oh, last month. Yeah, Matt cried last month. Yeah,
Yes,
in the last live stream. Yeah,
because you were.
Oh, because I wasn't in it.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Thank you. That's a good point. Fucking
Oh,
Sean, what's wrong with you fucking people? Anyway, if I'd have been there, I'd set you straight, stupid internet. And I was ill, and I was editing.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so yeah, Tokyo Godfathers, Die Hard, 2.
Masterpieces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, flat.
We've used that word a couple of times already, but I'm not afraid to use it right here.
But at the same time, it's also like, sit down, children. We're going to see what the Sequelisers have recommended to you for Christmas. Oh. One of them is
Misery and Violence.
Yeah. I don't think either is rated appropriately.
And the other one's Die Hard.
Is it Tim first or me first? Jack broke this was me first.
Yeah, it's you first.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Well, what do you know? Tokyo Godfathers, please.
Surprise winner. Jingle all the way.
Hey, the brainworms.
Oh my god.
Dune.
Is it too late to suggest Tron Legacy? Yes, it is, Stuart. Fuck off with your Tron Legacy. Good lord.
They don't celebrate Christmas in the grid.
It's true. In Tron World, I think you'll find.
Yeah.
There's no Christmas in Tron World.
The circus look like jingle bells.
That should be the sequel.
Trees.
Bringing Christmas to Tron World.
Meow 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 meow. Just do the whole Daft Punk soundtrack with just sleigh bells.
Do you know what? A Daft Punk Christmas album would slap.
Oh, too late now.
Imagine them doing Carol of the Bells.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, that would be really good.
They celebrate Clumas. Stuart, you're on thin fucking ice. You're back in the inner circle. Welcome back, my friend. Welcome back. It's fucking genius. Welcome back.
It's not even a pun. It's a portmanteau, so it's fine.
No, that's just a clever play on words, Matthew. That's fine. That's fine.
Clever play on words?
Yeah.
Or just play on words.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jack's vote.
Die Hard. Tim,
who do you want to be your friend for Christmas?
Pick your favorite sequelizer. That's not you.
If I'd have had my druthers in my own personal chart, the Muppets Christmas Carol would have won.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
In this regard,
Tim,
Die Hard.
Everyone's going to hate us. A bunch of 3 white dudes on the internet picked Die Hard as the best Christmas movie ever.
I dare say a Daft Punk Christmas album would slay.
Hey!
There it is.
Well done.
There it is. Die Hard.
See, this is how you know somebody is a Die Hard, huh? Get it? Discord fan. They're trying to do the puns emoji from our Discord, which is the one specifically created by Remy in the chat, by the way. Remy is responsible for a lot of our fantastic Discord emoji things, including puns, no puns, good crow and bad crow. And unfortunately we are those 3 white guys who do a film podcast and talk about how Die Hard is the best Christmas movie.
Oh my god.
Oh, the stereotypes.
We're going to get so much shit for this.
Oh no.
I mean, to be fair, we made our case for all of them. We I'm very, very surprised by what did and didn't get through. It's a very interesting selection. I also love Die Hard. I have no problem with Die Hard winning,
Obviously.
really. But
it got to the semi-final
Shut up,
map,
Tim.
and hopefully there's going to be a bunch of people out there who are now going to go and check out Tokyo.
That's what matters.
Like I said, this is what matters. If we're recommending stuff, if you haven't seen Die Hard, A Muppet's Christmas Carol, for fuck's sake, go and watch those two. I think that, like I said, they're my 1 and 2. And the 3 I would recommend that are the lesser known ones. Matt, you mentioned Rare Exports, Tokyo, Godfathers, and Klaus. I think are the 3 kind of hidden gems here that maybe a lot of you won't necessarily have already seen or be less aware of and all that kind of stuff. Arthur Christmas as well. I think that's below those 3 in my opinion.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
How dare you have different opinions? You're supposed to pick exactly how I would. Even though I know Remy and I often fundamentally differ on many movies.
See, there we go. That Tyler's brought up something because neither of those involved.
Robert Zemeckis' Christmas Carol could have been in the file against fucking Polar Express.
Polar Express was nearly on the list, wasn't it?
It was almost.
That's one that's on Emma and I's regular rotation. So yeah, all those terrifying versions of Tom Hanks's face. What's not to like?
Yeah, I'd have been.
If you want to be terrified by Tom Hanks, go watch Polar Express.
I'd have been voting heavily against Polar Express.
I like Polar Express quite a lot.
I think it's all right. I think it's not bad at all. It's okay.
Yeah.
Batman Returns would have done all right, I think, for a while.
Yeah,
maybe
that was John Scarrett's, I believe.
John wanted
he was like, "Oh yeah, cool. I guess Batman Returns is going to win," and we were like,
"He stole the list."
Maybe. And then he looked. He was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
No,
we had to check through all the things.
No Shane Black on the list either.
No Shane Black.
Yeah, no Shane Black. Bloody hell.
Which is Iron Man 3, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, everything Shane Black's ever fucking done.
Yeah, everything covered in snow, set at Christmas. Welcome to Shane Black's entire career.
Yeah.
So yeah, well,
wow.
Yeah, unfortunately, the obvious choice kind of won. Like I said, we're 3 white guys who do a film podcast and talk about things on the internet in our 30s. Die Hard won our best Christmas movie.
I would say when I was wargaming it myself and thought how it might go, because you do that classic thing like, oh, here's the bracket.
Oh yeah.
Going to go. I thought it would be a Nightmare Before Christmas, Muppets Christmas Carol finale, and it wasn't either of those things. I genuinely did, because again, for people our age, they are some of the most nostalgic films, and that have held over well. They've aged nicely. They are still very pure. So I'm very surprised we are where we are. But then I'm always surprised by these brackets. I'm like, holy shit, how did we get here? But definitively, the method works.
I never wargame it because I would never predict.
I've never wargamed it properly. I've never predicted the correct outcome ever.
No, neither have I. No.
I think I'm in personal biases, but yeah, madness. Very much crazy.
I always wonder how it would have turned out if only the chat would have voted. We'll never know, Remy. We'll never know. We didn't officially count. You can go scroll back and count the things if you want, but it would be chaos.
It would be absolute chaos.
It would have been chaos, and a film that wasn't even on the list would have somehow won.
Yeah, exactly. well, if you disagree with our Christmas choices, which I'm sure plenty of you do, and you're watching later on YouTube or anything like that, first of all, thank you very much for joining us. Please
Especially
do all the
spam bot.
All the usual spam botty bollocks of hitting the like button and smashing the subscribe, all that bollocks. We do these once a month, and usually it's a director's tournament, and we'll go through an entire director's filmography and go through that stuff. We will have new guests and brand new crossovers. I'm in contact with a couple of fantastic podcasters we're going to be working with in the new year. You might see some familiar faces, some people who you might recognize, some brand new, lesser-known podcasters who are equally fantastic, and we want to kind of shine a light on from our side of things and work with them as well. Lots of different voices. We want to make sure we're bringing a lot of representation. As we said, we're 3 British white guys in our 30s here. We want to make sure we're having people of color and women's voices on our content as well. So you expect to see a lot more of that coming up in the new year. As I said, we're having a break over Christmas. So if you are watching this live or in December 2021, we are back for patrons on the 7th of January with our first MCU special, baby. The 3-part MCU trilogy is kicking off this interseason. and it's looking to be about 10 hours, 10, maybe 11 hours of content across the 3 episodes. And so Patreon's Friday the 7th of January, and for the rest of you guys publicly on all podcast platforms and that kind of stuff is Tuesday the 11th of January for the first episode. And then it's weekly from then on. No more breaks for the rest of 2022. We might end up having to record remotely. We might be going to a lockdown here in the UK. We don't know about that. So far, we've been able to record those 3 in person. So it's been okay so far. If you do want to argue with my choices, I am JLW Chambers on all social media. You can see our little tokens down the bottom there as well. Matthew, you are Stogs. Nice and easy. Tim is Trivia_lad. And of course, like I said, you can go to patreon.com/sequelisers if you want to get early access to the episode, you want to get ad-free episodes, you want to get exclusive merch, discounts on merch, even some of the executive producers who get shout-outs on the show and all that kind of stuff as well. Of course, the links for everything, sequelisers.com, of course, is the place to go. I mentioned the Discord earlier. If you don't see it in the description, I've not been able to make that work. Hopefully I will do. Then you can go to sequelisers.com, click on the Discord button. You can go on the invite that way. You can also find the archive for all of these live streams in a lovely little playlist, and the archive of every single episode we've ever done over the last nearly 5 years, by the way. 4.5 years of doing this stuff. That's all available on sequelisers.com as well as all the links to all the social media and all the other bollocks as well. Matthew, you're back into the reviewing game. You're critiquing the movies and stuff. Where can people find all that stuff?
If you go to theredrighthand.co.uk, as is on screen right now. I've revamped the site. It's all HTTPS and all that thing. It's all optimized. If you go to a certain review and the film is, say, for argument's sake, a new Spider-Man, I won't say anything, don't worry. If you watch Tim
and I are going to see the new Spider-Man straight away after finishing this.
No spoilers, everybody. Be kind in the comments.
Yes.
Same for watching this on YouTube. Again, still might be too soon. But the point is, if you go and read that review, at the bottom of the review, have other recommended reviews, other Spider-Man reviews from me. So it's been all optimized and lovely, and it looks and runs very quickly and lovely.
Actually.
So please
includes a redesign from our good pal John Scarrett as well. New logo, new update,
amazing
logo.
Stuff. Yeah,
awesome stuff. So go and check out, like I said, our website. Go and check out Matt's review website, Tim's Twitter, my Twitter, Matt's Twitter, all the usual stuff. But most of all, have a lovely Christmas, everybody. If you do celebrate Christmas, I hope you have lovely turkey and Christmas pudding and all that kind of bollocks. If you don't, have a lovely time anyway. Hopefully you got some time off work like the rest of us do. Fingers crossed. I know I'm looking forward to about a week and a half off of work, which will be lovely. Have a nice little break because I'm terrible at taking holidays usually. And we'll see you once again in 2022. Like I said, January is our 3-part MCU special, which is all thanks to our lovely patrons. That was our second or third patron goal, I want to say. And then we'll be back at the end of January with a brand new live stream, brand new director, and a new guest joining us on the show as well. Thank you for joining us, everybody. We'll see you next month and see you next year. Goodbye.
Bye.